This is
Oh shit, make sure you guys go to the party and turn on the fact that your voice can be heard. Alrighty. Oh fuck, now I gotta advertise it. Who did?
Where are you guys at?
I'm in my clubhouse at the moment. Got him.
Oh, excuse me.
Start making my way over there.
Tasteful. Now I get it. That's funny.
What's funny?
Cast Reapers MC is live. I just got that.
So everybody shared their voice corrected Mundo?
Yeah.
ID. Alright. Okay, link in bio. Oof. Trying to figure out which bike to like ride. Okay, do you want to invite me in Powerhouse over to you? Make it easier. And I'm just gonna wait a couple minutes for the stream to get like a little kicked off and like people to view my story, and then we'll start getting in the depth on the good old topics that all the new age community don't want to hear.
Yeah, right.
Still gonna be a good one. I'm gonna enjoy it. We had a pretty good little debate the other night, like probably about an hour and a half long debate about shit. I had a few people hit me up saying they were excited to hear what you gotta say, so it wasn't too bad.
Dear God.
Yeah. You still got some sway, buddy. Don't think you can run away.
But in my screen, I just keep seeing Kate like hitting over every bike.
Yeah, well, it does. Okay, do you like fix all your tires every time?
Yep. It looks better that way. With them all turned instead of it just straight and narrow.
Can you like stop falling over?
On my screen, I'm not even falling over.
This one right here is
Screen
just
falling over.
doing its own thing right here.
I
Have
like
you ever
that.
had the ones that just levitate over just like a smidge?
Dude, you
They
just...
all went back. Yeah, they all went back straight now.
Because he ran all... Oh my god, that's funny. I'm not even going to bother.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You remember Rack, who was a part of Psychos before, right? He's back in Covenant now.
We were just talking to him the other day, weren't we?
Yeah, I'm not talking shit. I'm shocked that he's back in Covenant. We were just talking to him a couple days ago, so he seemed happy. It's like I'm kind of like low-key confused. I guess he really enjoys his Covenant. Well, good for him. Oh shit! I didn't notice that because I would check my friends to see what people's up to. I'm part of the new school MC community, right here.
The what?
I'm part of the new school MC community right now.
Oof.
You didn't see the outfit I just put on. Nobody saw it. Didn't happen. Hey, Savage, we're about to like kick off shit at the moment. I'm just waiting a couple minutes before I do, so hopefully I can stop sniffling. And yeah, I don't know why. Whenever like as soon as I wake up, usually like I started like sniffling and shit. It's crazy.
Gotta get
It's
stuff
like
like
an
a
automatic.
humidifier or something. You know what I mean? Probably like too dry.
Oh, apartments are definitely too dry around here. Yeah, it's the podcast. One thing I don't like about Twitch on Xbox is the fact that you can't see the comments. Like I have to use my phone as like a little like for comments. Fuck.
I've never used Twitch other than to like jump in on a stream and say what's up. I've never like streamed anything.
Ah. I don't like usually use it. Like I think I'm gonna like on PlayStation I'm gonna start using the Outcast Reapers like YouTube page.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Cause like now I have access to it, so might as well use it. And this I'm gonna be taking from Twitch and uploading it onto the Outcast Reapers YouTube afterwards. Oh fuck.
Where are we chilling in here? What are we doing? The
I'll probably
itinerary.
go for a little ride skis. My itinerary was trying to like find a lobby to where we could do some like stand your grounds, but also I don't know if that was the best idea because we'd be distracted.
Everybody sees me after getting mopped up.
Yeah, you bringing all the 99ers to the party.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Definitely you
It's always you that's bringing them.
No, it's not. Okay, listen, you're supposed to be on my side, okay? You're supposed to be on my side, not Powerhouse's side. What the fuck? What is this? Is it because I didn't let you go on your motorcycle without training wheels yesterday? Is that it?
They still gotta
I'm
add
definitely
that.
not gonna like sit in the clubhouse. I can't handle sitting in the clubhouse. I don't know. I just gotta move around and do something. But anyways. Oh, can I register as an MC president? Oh my god, GTA is asking way too much of me today.
Oh, you got one?
Look where you're going, huh?
My bike is all the way
Powerhouse.
nowhere.
Screw your MC, Powerhouse.
Dude,
Screw your MC. Fuck. Lord. I'm like Lord Farquaad. Except I'm tall. Sure.
He's a rockstar. Didn't like spawn any closer.
No, definitely not. I don't know why, but down here is like the worst fucking place to spawn bikes.
I don't know. Powerhouse was running towards his bike, and while I was watching him run away, and that towards his bike, it looked like he had no fucking pants on. He only had his cut off.
Powerhouse Savage says hi.
What's up, Savage?
Like, I'm not the perfect roadcaster. I never fell out turns, so this is going to be heavily embarrassing. And like sometimes, like whenever I get into like heavy topics and get like distracted by them topics, I'll go off-roading.
Like texting and driving. Like talking and driving.
Yeah. Savage, you could come in the party, just we're gonna be like talking about other topics. We're just gonna be like during like having a podcast on, you can still come chill in the party for a bit. Oh! Alright.
We can make this like a training video of like what not to do.
Yeah, what like not to do. Well, let me know when you get on and I'll shoot treat a party invite only because I don't want random people joining it. Do they? Not in the mood. But yeah, we're gonna kick it off. I'm just gonna ask you like simple questions that like just to start it off. So like maybe like for some people who don't know you because you're older, you don't really pop out as much anymore. Like you could let some of like younger people know like what MCs you've been a part of and what experiences and what ranks you held in those.
Yeah, sure, man. So for me, started playing this game. I was like, came out back. Like that. I didn't really start getting into the MC community until probably close to like the end of 2015. That was my last first club I was in, was like the Warriors MC. That's a fictional thing, but it's basically just put the Warriors patch up the game community. And there was absolutely like no structure in it whatsoever. You know what I mean? It was kind of like some guy wrote up, was like, "Hey, bro, you want to join?" I'm just like, "Sure, cool, man." Like, you know, for a crew, the people hang out with stuff. Obviously, I've never seen that guy or anybody in that club ever again.
Oh yeah. Oh, so nah, I didn't invite someone to the party.
Okay. And from there, I was part of a club called Dead Men Don't Help. And that club, like,
I saw
Get
that.
your leg.
6 to 8 months, if I recall correctly. You know what I mean? I was the VP of their Toledo Bay charter that they had currently at the time. You know, cool group of guys. If I'm not mistaken, Ian is the founder and national president of that club at the time. Everything kind of, I really just started like fading off. And so I was like, oh, well, I've got a little bit of experience here. Let's see what I can do. You know, I founded Hell of Madman roughly around 2016. I had a handful of people that were from that club that then don't help the game. Like you say, you guys came. I'm sure, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. No one, real heavy into the community for a while. He was with me for a long time. When I became part of W2. Roughly around that time is when I was more or less fading out. The members still alive and everything like that. So it was on Hell's Madman. Right, so I went into, became a Reaper Lord after like 11 and a half weeks of prospecting over there. Did that. I started off as an enforcer. I was one of the classes that I started. I was an enforcer for a while. Then I got promoted to VP. There, shortly after that, I got promoted to Sergeant Everything in Xbox. Did that for a while. Ended up settling down from there. VP came back as Sergeant of Arms for a while. I left there. After 4 years of being there and everything, full ranks and stuff like that. Then I did become a patch member of Devil's Team for a while. Ended up leaving there, you know, doing it anymore. And then came back up with the idea of starting back Hell of Madman. Brought back the club in 2020, and
Yeah, I think it was 2020.
yeah, I've been kind of just been sitting here chilling. And, you know, we've had people come, we've had people go, you know, big reasons, you know, rebuild, etc. And everything like that. Everything. So, you know, a lot of older heads with me, especially older community heads. Older guys build. That's where we've been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can understand that because we kind of like the same way, right? So just these guys have been like stuck by me since some of the old clubs I used to be around. Like some of them clubs because me and you have been friends for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ever since I was in House of Madman as a prospect. So everybody knows Reaper Lords, right? So like, what attracted you to like, the Reaper Lords? What was the main reason like you decided to join one of them? Because at that time, that club was one of the most strict fucking clubs to get into and one of the hardest.
Yeah,
Why'd
so
you join them and evolve?
So a lot of the things that stood out to me for them was, you know, I did know a handful of patches that were there. You know, the other things was they had a structure like I've never seen before. They had longevity. They were around for a long time. A lot of members were sticking around for a long time. So a lot of those like key things was about me. Like, oh, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, they did this try. I think that was, I think I went for that. So, no, it was strict. You know what I mean? It was strict. A lot of people were fair. Willing to help you out, teach you things that you didn't know, whether it was combat or just overall on street stuff. Got a lot of real old heads in there that were not exactly like the founding guys, but I'm so cool. So the amount of knowledge that they got was great. And then, you know, during the process, I guess there was 11 athletes, correctly, and it was tough, but it was a lot of fun. Too, you know what I mean? And it definitely paid off when I became a full patch. And then, you know, being there and being able to be around the people that I was around, being able to take part in what I did, it was great. I met a lot of great people there, both inside the club and outside the club. I did, you know, gaming content, you know, podcasts, stuff like that. So it was just overall a lot of fun. You know what I mean? There was a lot of positive content coming out. There was a lot of things that we were doing, a lot of charities we were doing, which was great. You know, a lot of people were really pushing on for that and stuff at the time. So all in all, it was just really good. A lot of great people.
Yeah. And I think that's what back in like, because I joined the club back in 2017, which is okay, so we were great the club are on now, and they were kind of on the same caliber as the Superlords back then. Like they had the hella structure, you had a lot of old heads, you had like longevity people, you had they just had all the structure and the members and that shit. And I think that's what kind of attracted me to the club too. I knew Hardcase was a prospect, and then when he became a full patch and saw that we were having problems with the club that me and a buddy of mine, Jester, started, he said, why don't you just come prospect for Outcast Reapers? And we got our patches after a month of prospect, and it was fucking like hell. It was like a short time back then, but like it was pretty much on like Reaper Lord level of getting like hazed and shit like that. So, I mean, it was fun doing the like prospecting for clubs like that back in like their prime days. Those were the most fun moments that you could have.
Absolutely. The nice part too was that like you weren't necessarily going through it alone. You know what I mean? You had other prospects that you were with, you had to work with, stuff like that to accomplish the goal. It was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, it's not at times, but like, you know, it's great fun too. So.
Yeah.
I don't regret any of it.
And if you were a club and you went in to prospect for another club as a club together, it was 10 times better. Because me and Jester went and prospected for Outcast Reapers together, and then we got patched in with ORMC Lane at the same time. So we all got patched in together. He's you know the club Rolling Suns?
Yeah.
Yeah, the founder of Rolling Suns was an Outcast Reaper member. We got patched in together. But yeah, so my question is, so you've run Hell's Madman for like almost 3 years now, or if 3 years, like back, or even back. So for some of the presidents out there that are looking to like not be a part of like the new generation, how like is there like what's the advice that you give them to running a club nowadays, or if you think they should even run a club nowadays?
Well, look, I'll never condemn anybody ever trying to start up their own thing. I think for a lot of educational purposes, it's a good thing. You know what I mean? Give it a try. Look, you know, it might not pop off to be the greatest thing in the world. It might be like it's a 50-50 chance that you take something to do it and take that. You know, what I would suggest is that when you're building, one of the greatest things you can have is an idea, a goal. Right? You want to know where you're going to go, what you want to do, and what you're trying to accomplish, right? You want to make sure that you have that clear vision. And it doesn't have to be like, hey, we're going to be the greatest MC. It doesn't have to be that big in that moment. Right, but know where you want to go. Know, you know, maybe the people that you want to do it with, your friends, or however that is. You know, once you get that structure down, then again, so now you can start building the structure, like the pillars of your club. You want to make sure that, you know, you got a good step bylaws, like want to make sure that you have a clear purpose of what it is you plan on doing. as far as how you're going to get prospects to recruit, what kind of content that you want to put out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when you get all of that down pat and you know exactly what it is you want to do, then really the sky is the limit. You know what I mean? As long as you got the activity and everybody's sure they're hungry to be the best. You know, EM club, stuff like that, a restricted shooting club. You know what I mean? They generally don't tend to last as long. You know what I mean? But I'm sure this time they're going to have. Again, yeah, like I said, I think the fundamental is that have the purpose, have a goal, know where you want to go, and know exactly how you want to do it. Not everything goes to plan, human nature. But yeah, I think if you follow some of those core things, stay away from the drama, and just mainly focus inward and not each other. I think that there is basically the starting blocks you have.
Yeah, and I think as well, that's why we kind of succeed here, right? Because like we don't have, we don't have a lot of membership coming through the doors. I got very few guys, but like they're also 100% loyal, and we're also like hella fucking close. Like I don't think that having a shit ton of members makes you a good president or makes you a fucking club. It's about the people that are they gonna stick loyal to you? Are they gonna stick loyal to your club in the long run? And I think that's where most people get like down, and some people just shut their clubs down because they don't have that drive to like say, hey, like we're losing people, like what can we do to improve it, or like let's just focus on us. Like if people leave, let's focus on the inside on possibly what's happening. They just much rather take this easy way out and just shut the club down and move on. Because I could talk from experience, because I used to do that, right? So I think that's where most of the clubs just kind of fall off. Just don't have the drive to keep it going after they've lost. Say they're down to like 4 or 5 people. They're like, well, fuck, our club's just dead. So what's the fucking point of people going, you know what I mean? And then they have to go find a new club, but they have the bright idea to start another club, and that's what really starts the whole process of opening and closing clubs. Because they've got so many options. Like, hey, maybe if we bring back the club that we did shit with, it'll be different this time. It's just never different. It's the same.
Yeah, and then
It's the same guys doing the same thing.
Right, I'll throw like a thing in there as well too. Like it's hard, especially nowadays with 10-year-old. A lot of when you come up with a club, right, you want to make sure you have a cool kitchen, color scheme, and a patch. And, you know what I mean? Like every 10 years, a lot of different people doing different things. The ideas tend to kind of dry up a little bit. The game, not exactly the most exciting thing in the world, isn't exactly making it any easier for a lot of people. You have old heads in the community that have been playing for so long that there's only so many rides you can go on. Ride and accomplish the same goal. The game, it needs a little bit of excitement to keep people interested. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say it's the easiest thing to do. Now we're on the verge of GTA6 coming out and everything like that, but I expect a lot of people to be all fired up and out there and ready to go. I mean, it's giving you something to look for.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'll never condemn a new club for popping up and trying to give it the little college stride and everything like that. Like I said, you want to make sure that you have a purpose, goal, and that you want to accomplish at the end of the day.
So everybody's got different opinions on this topic, right? But I'm gonna ask it because we've talked about it slightly, but like it's never been like full on things. We're always like sitting there shit talking how the MC community is now. Like what's your opinion on how the MC community is now?
So it's definitely changed. You know what I mean? I think not so much for the better. What I'm happy to see is that you still got good people out there. They're trying their best to maintain the business they want to do, how they can do it. The other thing is that you have a lot of people, life, gets kids, get married, get two jobs, whatever it is. So the activity there isn't really there. I know 5M is becoming something that a lot of people are interested in. I think 5M obviously offers a lot more creativeness with what's, so I definitely see the appeal to it. But as far as the community as a whole, yeah, I think it's really getting a lot. you look at, like, for instance, you guys don't know, but I'm not a big fan of modded accounts. Modded accounts have become like a real big thing in the community. For one reason or another. You know, you kind of look at the way IG and everything went from being a place for positive content creators to where it started toxic. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, you still have good people out there. You still have good clubs. You know, I mean, I just think that either out of boredom, and this, that, and the other thing, people are trying to change it really to fit their own mindset, if you will, or like what they feel that the community should be. So it's definitely changing. It's evolving, but it's changing. But I say that it's absolutely garbage. No, because you still got good clubs out there. You still got good people out there willing to put the best foot forward. Again, it's just, you know, maybe it's a younger generation thing. I don't know. Yeah, I would say it's definitely changing. And, maybe not so much for the better. Maybe GTA6 will offer something better for everybody. I don't know. You know, when it gets time to tell with that.
Yeah. So this is like a different topic because I've never asked this to anybody else before. So there's so many different versions of 1%. What do you think of clubs trying to like change 1%? The ones that were like 2013 1% to nowadays 1%, where you're able to EWO, you're able to use marksman rifles without a scope and all that shit. What's your opinion on clubs changing those 1%
That kind of,
bylaws?
so yeah, that brings it back to a lot of people trying to fit the community to fit their agenda. You know what I mean? Look, every club obviously is allowed to do whatever it is they want. I'm not the community police here. You know, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, this is the right way to do it versus the wrong way. My only thing is, if you look at guys and girls or clubs, you know, kind of follow it the way, the simpler way, if you will. You know, you can't really expect for people to sit there and be willing to adapt to what it is that say another club wants to do. I think the 1% code was something that was made very simple, but over time has just evolved into this like spaghetti bowl mess of people's different perceptions on it. Again, like every club has their own bylaws, right? So you can't, you know, personally condemn a club for how it is that they want to run or what it is they may want to do. But I mean, when you get called out for it, the way that originally was, yeah, I think you kind of got to expect that. But like I said, I think today's community is really more about fitting to individuals' agendas rather than more or less like a community agenda. Again, that kind of brings you back to everything changing and evolving.
And like you said, every year there's a new batch of 13-year-olds coming in to the MC community, right? Like you use that analogy, like there's 13-year-olds that come in the MC community and all they want is like to cause mayhem. Like they just want modded accounts to cause mayhem, and if they see an MC and they think it's cool, they're gonna join it, and it's just gonna add more to the madness, right? So I think it's kind of.
Well, I think that's how
GTA6
keeps getting millions of copies sold a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you also talk to me not yesterday, but like the day before you're talking about Rockstar investing their money back into the game. Like, you want to explain that to everybody else, because not everybody is like what you think that Rockstar should do personally to make the game better.
Yeah, sure. So, hey, do we mind if we pull up over here somewhere? I'm gonna grab a smoke while we're doing this. But yeah, so one of the main points that I was trying to stress the other day. Right? So you got Rockstar making the trailer becoming available for GTA6 right next month and stuff like that. They're already projecting that they're going to sell maybe billions of dollars worth of the game, right? So what I would like to see Rockstar do personally is that, like, if you make $8 billion right on day one, because everybody's excited, everybody's buying the game. You know, they waited 10 years for what they want to see what Rockstar's got. What I would like to see Rockstar do is, even if you make $8 billion in sales, take $1 million and put it back into the game. You know what I mean? Put it back into making the servers better. You know, I think Rockstar really broke away from the idea of making a quality game and keeping it a quality game versus strictly just always trying to make the most money that they can. You know, I think that they should learn from what they did with, say, GTA 5. You know, you look at it like we're on peer-to-peer servers 10 years later over the course of 3 different consoles. It's like, Rockstar, you've made, let's just say, for argument's sake, like $190 billion And sure, you put out free DLCs and everything like that, and it takes you like 10 years to get quality of life changes. But you know, during the course of those 10 years, and granted, I'm not a game developer by any means. I don't know if it would take just $1 million a year or whatever, but just for easy numbers, it's like you gotta invest money back into it, right? If I build a race car and I'm winning races and everything like that, and I don't like put new wheels on it, you know what I mean? Am I really expecting to win the next race? Have a blowout or whatever. Like, whatever making you money, you want to make sure that you're putting it back into the product. Right? You got to listen to your community. Not just saying bikers, you know, it could be street gangs, mafias, content creators, EDM people, whatever it is. You got to listen to your player base. Open up like a steady line of communication, and you know, be willing to listen and try and make changes to your player base, your customer base, the people that are buying your shark cars or buying your game over the course of 3 consoles. You want to keep them happy.
Yeah, that's yeah, we definitely talked about that, and I definitely agreed with you. I definitely think Rockstar just kind of like, yeah, maybe they spend like a little bit of money on like developers to make it, but I don't think they ever like fully put in enough money to make the game like a little bit better. Like we were talking about. I think that some like from each one person from each community that's been doing it right for so many years should be kind of like on an advisor team. Like say one person from the MC community, one person from Street Gangs, one person from CF. You were bringing up Lord King God being an advisor because of how much shit he's done and shown that, and he's made so much money off like so much money the past few years on biker mods. Like he's done quite a few things, and I think that the MC community would really benefit from Lord King God being on the team, and anybody from the street gang, not yeah, the street gang and crime families and shit. I believe that if Rockstar took the steps to actually like listening to their community, they'd see what the actual like communities need rather than just releasing it and hoping everybody likes it.
Yeah, I mean, because like, granted, right, we can be selfish and live in this bubble where it's like we only care about the MC community, like screw the rest of the game. But like me personally, I would like to see every community, every player, regardless of whether I like their play style or the crew that they're from or whatever, right? You want to see everybody having a good time, right? And at the end of the day, what is everybody playing the game for outside of the MC community, right? Like let's not bring up like the brotherhood and camaraderie of just one community. Like everybody's playing the game at the end of the day because they have a particular interest in it. Right, you got guys and girls that want to be bikers. You got people that want to be TDM people. You got people that want to be content creators. Like, you know, everybody should be able to have something every couple of months, like fresh, that keeps them want to play the game. You know, I think again, if they just invested the money back, listened to the individual communities, or at the very least opened up a line of communication, being like, "Hey, GTA bikers, look out for this coming soon." Hey, content creators, we're gonna change up the Rockstar editor. So there's, you know, it's like the same old monotonous 10-year-old program. You know, I think that would go a long way for a lot of people, spread out throughout different communities. You know, different ways they want to play the game.
Yeah, I understand that. So I'm gonna go back to like the MC community topic like, real quick because I had a question. So what do you? So there's people out there that also be in street gangs and MCs at the same time. So what do you like? How do you feel about double crewing yourself?
As like an old school community member, it
Yeah.
should just be one or the other, in my opinion. Again, I'm not a community police. You know, how people decide that they want to play and you know what it is that how they want to play it. That's totally up to them, and it's fine. You know, I don't agree with it, but again, I'm just powerhouse, right? Like, again, I'm not like the community police. I can't tell every club how to run themselves. If that's something that a club chooses to do, that's fine. Like that's your decision. That's something that you guys took to your table and you voted on. But for me personally, it's you always stayed in one set of tags.
And I think where most people like want to double crew it. So say if they're like getting like 99 or anything on the MC account, they can easily just go to the. They have a scapegoat, right? They have a way to go where they could just go fucking blow someone up if they want to. Like, I think that's kind of like people have secondary accounts in different like crews, like street gangs, for that reason.
Yeah, it probably definitely stems from some level of frustration, and I get it. You know,
Yeah,
somebody that's
I've
always
had.
getting mobbed in lobbies, like I totally get it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we get the exact same treatment. Yeah, as you saw the other day, I got booted offline like twice because and called a cheater. So I
I
think
got a
the
last stand around my trolley real quick. I'm going to go smoke a bowl and coffee.
you're good, buddy. Do what you gotta do. So we talked briefly about GTA 6 the other night. Like, what do you expect from the game? Do you like have any hope that Rockstar is gonna actually like make the game great, or are you just kind of like waiting to see what comes from it? Because I know a lot
Well,
of
all right, so I
people they're
kind of,
sitting there like stemming so much excitement off of the game, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, this game is gonna be so great," without like seeing the game. So like, what are your opinions on GTA 6 when it's dropping?
so after 10 years of kind of being let down in a way, you know what I mean? Like every DLC was supposed to be greater than the last and stuff like that, right? So you kind of develop the mindset of, not overshooting it, if you will, right? Not being like overexcited. Do I think GTA 6 is going to be a great game? Absolutely, right? Rockstar has proven time and time again that they can make great games. There's no denying it. We might not like how they go about it or anything like that, but at the end of the day, they do make great games. So I can only imagine that 6 is going to be something that probably the world gaming community has never seen before, and I look forward to it. What I would really, really hope is that they learn a lot of stuff over the 10 years that this game has been out. You know what I mean? Like, get us off peer-to-peer servers. You know what I mean? Stop letting kind of like God mode glitches and stuff like that, seep through, and like, not only did they seep through, but it takes you years to fix them. I'm hoping that they really have like a dedicated team to sit there and get rid of game-breaking glitches. Um, I hope they make it so that again everybody has fun. Like maybe give us like an evolving map, give us a better economy where sports car doesn't cost $2.3 million. You know,
Yeah.
um, it's like I said, I wish it was simple, but you kind of really got to see what the game is going to be. I would like to see them obviously keep the social club and crew factor alive. You know what I mean? I think that stems for a lot of people, regardless of what community that you're a part of, being able to represent something that you built. So I would like to see them keep that and maybe even improve the Rockstar Social Club, make it easier to upload patches, make the patches look clearer in game. I would like to really see them utilize the technology that these new consoles have now to give you like the best bang for your buck going forward. Do I think that they'll do it? Yeah. Do I expect the world out of them? I don't know. I'd like to see them kind of calm down on the monetization of things. Like, stop making it where it's like a pay to play or a pay to win atmosphere with shark cards and stuff. Like, granted, look, it's a business at the end of the day. They want to make money. But again, don't make it so much about greed and start making it about giving back to your player base and routinely. You know what I mean? Don't be doing it where, every couple of years, you're going to be like, oh, here you go, guys. Here's something we should have gave you on day one. I would like to see them get away from the drip feeding. You know what I mean? Where it shouldn't be, you gotta wait 3 weeks after DLC drops to get a car or a bike or something that you like. I like to see them, with clothing and stuff like that. For instance, like when the biker DLC came out, right? We got a lot of cuts and everything, but it was like the same cuts with like different camos on them and everything. I like them to see, just constantly keep the game evolving, keep stuff fresh, give the player base more of like what they actually want. I would like to see nothing futuristic. You know what I mean? 10 years of seeing like flying cars and oppressors and this, that, the other thing, electric tanks and all that crap. Get rid of all that. Keep it within the time frame of the game. So, for instance, if GTA 6 for some reason is in the 80s, yeah, you shouldn't have electric rail guns and electric tanks and flying cars and all that stuff, right? It doesn't make sense to the time frame of the game, so definitely get rid of that. Open up more building interiors for like clubs or anything like that. Or just make the game more expandable and more explorable. Don't wait years to put out like the Cayo Perico Island. You know what I mean? Make it so that maybe the map's evolving, kind of like what they did in Red Dead. You know what I mean? Like buildings that you see under construction on day one, maybe they do get completed, regardless of whether you can go into them or not. I think they keep the game fresh, current. You know what I mean? It keeps people feeling like, oh, dude, what are they going to do next? I think they really need to capitalize on the wow factor that they have, and really just go from there with it.
So we talked also briefly on social club issues because I brought it up that hey, like we might not be able to rock patches in GTA 6. So what, like, say we can't use Rockstar, what do you think is gonna happen if we can't use Rockstar, like the Rockstar social club?
So we're gonna go into like a hypothetical where like the crews don't
Yeah,
exist
say
anymore.
hypothetically crews don't exist anymore. Do you think they're gonna lose sales or they're gonna lose people playing their games? Because we had a small talk and I know you were sitting there saying that a lot of people have worked to build their clubs or build their street gangs or build whatever crews they have and they'd like to have it brought over. So what do you think if they don't bring those over is gonna happen?
Well, I definitely don't think it's gonna contribute to a lack of sales. I think what everybody will do is that they'll find creative ways to represent their crew, right? So, like our primary color in our crew is blue. So if we didn't have patches, you know what I mean? It might be some kind of club thing where it's like, all right, everybody wears a blue shirt under a black jacket or something. You know what I mean? Like the community is creative enough that they can really adapt and overcome anything that Rockstar might throw at them. You know, so in the worst case scenario, like I said, I think a lot of people will be creative enough to find ways to represent their clubs. Um, if Rockstar did take out the crew feature and everything like that, I think that would truly be a bummer for everybody. Again, because you know, you look at clubs like Reaper Lords and Devil's Speed that have been around since 2013 or 2014. I mean, you're talking about like 10 years to that patch being around, and now all of a sudden it's gone. You know what I mean? So it's not even so much like an internal thing per clubs, but you look at clubs that have been around even longer, losing their identity. Like I just don't think that that's fair. But I wouldn't sit there and put it past either one of those mentioned clubs to come up with a unique way to identify themselves still as, say, Devil's View or Reaper Boards, you know?
Yeah. So we talk about so much, right? And here's the thing. I got so, like I'm kind of like sitting here trying to think of questions because we talk about so much. And we're kind of like similar in a way of how we think the MC community should be compared to what it is now. So I think what do you think was the true downfall of the MC community? Like where all the TDM players well there was obviously TDM players like back in the old days. We weren't saints. We were never saints. Never did everything by the book. We had certain MCs that did what they want still. But what do you think really like pushed it over the edge to where everybody started coming in and everybody started MCs and everybody turned shoe first?
Well, I can sit here and say that the biker DLC probably really made it a lot easier for clubs to want to pop up. But I think if you go back a little bit further in time, when the TDM community and the MC community, like the TDM guys that really wanted to shoot ARs and everything like that, they didn't want to be a part of MCs. They wanted to fight MCs. And you know, I could recall a lot of clubs being like, "Well, yo, we don't care. We're not fighting you guys because you're TDM heads." And then you know, then you had this giant push of a lot of clubs coming over that were formerly just becoming clubs just on the idea of being able to shoot with MCs and get like that fair fight. So like you know, maybe that's something that contributed to it. Maybe you know, the other thing I would say is the biker DLC, for as great as it was for a lot of us that obviously are in this community. I think it also kind of made it a lot easier for a lot of people to want to just join it with having no real background on it whatsoever. And then I would probably have to say social media in a lot of ways probably did a number on this game or this community as well. You know, like look, there's always been toxicity, there's always been beefs and disagreements and everything like that. Um, but see, back in the day, you used to have to fight on social media. You had to constantly keep like refreshing the page to see who was talking crap about you or if somebody replied. I think social media made it so much easier now for everybody to just do that willingly and stuff. So it kind of went from being a place where you could organize events and network with other clubs, post content, you know, regardless of how, whether it was great content, bad content, whatever. And then it just really made it so it was like a war zone, like a texting war zone. So I think those kind of three things right there contributed to it. I think the community not really getting like another DLC to kind of keep it fresh and everything. You know, that probably didn't help either. I think if you look at people just being overall bored of the game and sitting there being like, screw it, man. Like, yo, this game's 10 years old. Who cares? And want to just do the one thing, which again is fine. But again, I think there was just numerous things. Some of the ones that I covered, I think, really led to kind of where we are now.
Yeah. So I had a question, and I'm gonna ask it because it's definitely a decent question. So, you know how females and males, like males have always had like the bigger patches, and males have always had like the better options for MC clothing. So did you like, but with the DLC, everybody was kind of like disappointed on how like the cuts came in, like what cuts they had. So what do you think about the clothing options they released for males? And then I'm gonna link it on to like another question I have after.
So I really wish what Rockstar would have done. It's something, again, I'm not a game developer by any means, but I would think Rockstar could have really made the Biker DLC when it came out awesome by just really giving us a lot of the stuff that the Lost NPCs already have and the game files that are already within the game. I think, excuse me, by taking that and releasing those game files to the players on top of what they did as well, I mean, I think you could have really, really killed it. As far as if you look at what they gave us, you know, Rockstar, you make a Lost MC patch that actually looks like a real life patch, right? And then you give us like a typical cut or whatever, and the patch isn't big enough, and some of them are too long, some of them look like jackets with like the sleeves cut off, it was camo. Like, bikers may shoot, but it's other bikers. You know what I mean? Like, none of us are going hunting. You know, so as far as the bikes, I definitely think that they could have taken bikes that were in, say, GTA 4, like the Lost and Damned, and brought them over with the bikes that they created. I think they could have kept a steady market of just bikes coming in all in all, and really made that set. As far as clothing, they gave you a good amount of stuff, but it was just like you got bored of it quickly. So that's kind of just where I went with that.
For sure. So what do you like? Do you think that females got screwed over in the clothing department whenever it came to any like even any DLC released? Because they're like all like any MC female shit you see, like the patch is so beyond fucking small and it just does not look good at all. So like, do
Yeah,
you
so
think that females got screwed out of it?
I've never had a female character. Obviously, there's females in my crew and stuff like that. So just based on over the years of seeing females and what they have, it definitely looks like they got the short end of the stick of it. Again, not being a game developer or anything like that, I don't know how hard it would have been for them to make the MC stuff for female characters bigger and better. You know what I mean? I think that if they would have tried a little bit harder, they probably could have succeeded in it. As far as landing on the downward side of it, I'm not really sure if female characters don't have complete access to everything that we do. I know there was like different variations and stuff, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's probably a fair argument to say that why you got screwed on it. Was it deliberate? I don't know. You know what I mean? Was it laziness on the part of Rockstar? Maybe. So that's really kind of like, without having ever had a female character, I don't feel like I can give like the most accurate answer on it, but I'd be probably willing to bet that they got screwed over.
Yeah, because like if you look, like we get to wear these big patches, right? No matter what, like so some jackets. Okay, so I'll put on. You got this one, right? Females don't got that like this cut, like this jacket.
Right.
And then we got this jacket, and the patch is still big, but for females it curves down and it becomes smaller on the bottom. And then we got like, we can get the big patch glitch and the females can't. So like I feel like Rockstar just kind of like they gave us shit for the males because maybe they think males make up most of the like GTA perspective because maybe they think like females don't really play games like this, which is not true, but like I think that they just kind of threw it together, threw a smaller box on it for emblems and called it good to go because at least females got something. You know what I mean? Like, at least they got something out of the DLC.
Yeah, they didn't totally get screwed out of it completely, yeah.
Now, I do have something to add on to that, like, big fucking patch in that. Okay, obviously Powerhouse has more in this one than that, but you see the size of it on this? Like, it should not be that small and that bent.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like how
Yeah.
It's kind of like how the females have that one jacket I showed you, like the black one that is like somewhat like decently sized pig. I think if Rockstar maybe have like put a little bit more effort and maybe like made the patches bigger, so we didn't have to do a fucking glitch to make them bigger, even for the males, would have gotten
No,
it
I
would have been
agree.
so much better.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I
This
think
really
I
gave
think
us
it's the
the lost MC cut.
yeah,
Even
I
if
think
all of us were wearing it, but it was everybody's passion was the right way that it should be like in real life. I kid you not, people would have been probably way more happy. Even if it was just that one cut, let's say. You know what I mean? But you could make it where, like, you
yeah.
know, you had the flashes in the front and the big patch in the back, and it actually looked right. It was accurate. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely think they could have done way more. And a lot of the stuff that we want is already in the game.
Yeah.
You see the
And all
lost
the stuff,
NPCs running around with all the stuff that we wanted. You know what I mean? Just give it to us.
and if you looked at the video, like for like the bikers petition, the original one, not the second DLC one, whatever the hell that one is.
Oh, the one
A lot
that
of the
Hopper
stuff that
Wolf and
we
all those guys
asked,
made.
a lot of the stuff that we asked are from old game, like the old game GTA 4 that most people in mods have already brought over, so people could put it in their modded content.
Mm-hmm.
And the cuts, like people with mods were able to take the cuts from it and edit them, so they were able, like you were able to put your emblem on it. You were able to put your own flashes on it. So that's where I think that the MC community was kind of like, okay, we got some stuff, but we were kind of also fucked over because we didn't get stuff that's so easily able to, like, if you move the code and do like certain amount of things, you can put it in. Like they've got a very skilled developer team. They were able to create this game, so obviously they're skilled enough to be able to, like, hey, we're gonna put like actual legit cuts into the game. And it's just it's kind of like people always sit there and complain, and I kind of like agree with them that we've always got like kind of like the short end of the stick in a way, but also we kind of got what we asked for, even like a little bit. Like people asked for the zombie chopper, we got it. People asked for different varieties of cuts, we got it. You know what I mean? Like it's, you gotta kind of like, can't focus so much more on the negative side of what we got and focus more on the positives, because we wouldn't be riding these motorcycles and Cade wouldn't have that jacket on if the biker DLC didn't come out, right? We'd still have the same old shitty 3 options, and some of those bikes you couldn't even do very much to them.
Yeah, no, that's
So
true. You know what I mean? So it did evolve, but like I don't know. I was a big fan of. I think every community should have gotten like a part two. You know what I mean? I think everybody should have gotten a part two after hearing a little bit of feedback from the communities individually. Then been like, oh, okay, we missed this. Like, boom, here's a part two. Boom, part two. You know what I mean? And I think they more than capable of doing it. Now, whether they wanted to or maybe they didn't think that it made enough money, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't work for Rockstar, but I can imagine that they were just like, all right, cool, man, money grab, and all right, let's move on to the next thing.
alright, so I got a question like that. It's just my personal like question that I kind of want your opinion on, but we kind of touched base on it. So like these shooter clubs that like are beyond terrible with it, like absolute, like they'll blow you up, evo, snack you, like all those little like fucking things that just really like irritate you. Do you think that they'll be like they could change their image ever, or even like be able to even change the image of like the president or like the hierarchy for the club, and if they're able to change like their, how do I say this, like they're able to change the image of the club and themselves? Do you think that they'd be ever be able to do that?
I'll be honest with you. I'll take the optimistic approach on this one. I truly think that anybody can change. You know what I mean? You have people that do bad things, and then they wake up one day and they're just like, oh, wait a minute, like, no, this isn't right, or that isn't the way, you know, like, we're not happy with it or whatever. So yeah, I think that everybody can come back. It's just like, is that person or is that club willing to do it? You know what I mean? Because let's put this way, like, it's not easy for a lot of people to break bad habits, whether in real life stuff, whether it's gaming, you know, not even GTA. Like, look at people that say cheat on Call of Duty or anything else like that. It comes down to the person. Do they want to change? And then, you know, it's like, will you change? So I think yes, I think people and clubs can change for the better. I think they just got to be willing to want to do it. And look, anything's really accomplishable. You know what I mean? You just got to know where to start and then just keep moving forward with it.
Yeah. So, also another question here. What's your opinion on patchovers, and what do you think patchovers should entail? Because some people think that patchovers are straight patches. Outcast Reapers, we tried that and didn't work. So we went to people got a prospect just as a shorter amount of time. Like what's like I'm not gonna go into like detail about how your club runs. Like I've been there, I know somewhat a little bit of things on how they run, but like how do like what's your like what do you guys do for like patchovers? Like
So
what's your
before,
kind of
so
thing?
even before a patch over or anything like that even happens, uh, how I do it, how I consider it, you know what I mean, is you look at the club that's willing to patch over, right? And then I think a few things before you even bring it to your table. It's like, all right, do they have good people? Do they do the right things? Are they a positive influence, right? Because like nobody wants drama at the end of the day, right? So I think there's a lot of key factors that you got to look into that club that wants to be willing to patch over, right? And then, obviously you take it to your table and you guys have a discussion on it. You know, Look, not everybody's always for patch overs. Some people are. I think it's definitely a case by case scenario. But going forward with it, it shouldn't be something that's rushed. It should be something that's definitely talked and deliberated with the club. You know what I mean? Like your personal club. And then, I think you want to sit there too, and the club that wants to patch over, I think you want to get a clear understanding of where they are. You know what I mean? Where they're at with everything mentally. You know what I mean? You definitely want to make sure that everybody's on the same page as best you can be, right? Because you're never going to make 100% of the people happy. Like it's
Yeah.
impossible.
Does she
You know what I mean?
own?
So when you go into the details of that, you want to make sure that you have everything down pat. Like, are the two clubs even compatible, right? Like, for instance, are they a club that goes 1% until someone goes 99er on them, and then they break it, and then you know what I mean, and then like say that club that's getting them as members aren't, you know what I mean? So it's like, is there going to be an adjustment phase? You know, are these guys bigger into say TDMing versus content? You know what I mean? So they're going to be like constant, like you're going to be shooting at everybody in the world and not focusing on content and focusing inward and trying to promote the club and the content aspect. So I think there's a lot of things that you got to look into before you sit down and really make that decision. I think both clubs need to really know what it is that they want to do, how to accomplish it, and then when you go from there is that you sit there and be willing to come to terms on it. Obviously, the other thing too is every club runs different, but the in-house vote itself is probably by far one of the most important things, right? Because if your table shoots it down, well, then it doesn't happen, right? Because 90% of these clubs, or 99% of these clubs, right? They're democratic organizations, right? Everybody sits there, has a vote, has a say. So if your table shoots it down, well, then guess what? It doesn't happen at all. So that's why I think when you're doing that, you do a lot of prep work. You know what I mean? You find out where everybody is. You find out the likes, dislikes, where you're the same, where you're not the same, and then put it all out on the table. Be honest, vote it, and then try to make it work as best you can once it happens.
And I also think so for like clubs like mine and yours, right? We're not like unknown, right? We're like we've got names out there, names that were already built and like established, and it's kind of like a legacy type thing. So I speak from experience when I say that y'all like we kind of like rushed our old patch over thing. I don't know, like you definitely weren't around for that, so like, I can sit there and speak from experience that it's never a good thing because I didn't give a person national presidency and he literally just left and engraved the club, right? So I'm sitting there like
Hey,
you just gotta do better. You just gotta like some people just gotta do better. You can't just hand it out to get members, because that's exactly what we did. We handed it out to get members because that's kind of like where we were at with the MC community. We were so tired of just being small, but then that really just proved to us that hey, being small isn't a bad thing. Being like hella tight with each other ain't a bad thing. Like if it's just us, oh fucking well, like it's not a big deal. But so with the community the way it is, and you see so many people with like the whole stabbing and graving thing. What's your opinion on all that? Like, do you think it's childish? Do you think it's stupid? Like, what do you think about all like the
To me, that's
stabbings
something
and the
that's
raves?
been around for a very, very long time.
Mhm.
So I don't, again, I don't condemn it. Like I said, it's been around forever.
Mhm.
Where I do think it got a little bit lazy is that, back in the day we got that you just have to pull out the phone. That was a legit pat rip. You know, taking a screenshot of it is not the same. Right, the whole challenge of
Mhm.
it was where you were quick enough with the phone to grab it.
Mhm.
Like I said, again, something that's been around forever has just evolved into something now that fits into individuals, agendas and personalities and what they feel is legit versus what's not. Again, it's just something that you can't really control. It's
Mhm.
it's always going to be there. It is what it is. Do I look at it as something as serious as it used to be? No, because I mean, you get somebody with like a fast run account. You know what I mean? 90% of the time, they're probably going to get you with it. It's just what it is now. Back in the day, there's a little bit more talent and skill that went into it. There was a challenge to it. So, is
Mhm.
it again? Is it condemnable? No. Scorecard's always been a thing. Again, if you're looking at a legit scorecard against somebody, it's like, do they have a legit account? You know what I mean? I think that brings more like a legit thing to it. All right, you got patch
Mhm.
rip. Again, do they have a normal account? Do they pull the cell phone out? Like, a lot of the things that made it the challenge and everything like that is being slowly changed by modded accounts. So I think there is still a level of legitimacy behind it, but it's how it's done when it happens. I think that totally makes or breaks whether someone recognizes it and respects it versus being
Mhm.
like, ah, screw that, bro. Like, nobody cares.
Yeah. So like we fought this one person. We both have this person in common. You know Merc, right? We all know Merc. We all know he just goes around fucking stabbing. That's all he does.
Yeah, I know Merc,
It,
yeah.
it's it's. I think there's a point to it where people take that shit so serious, but it's not serious anymore. Back in the day, a graving was hard to get because you had to join the actual club. You had to go through the prospecting phase, whether it was a club where you had to prospect 3 months, 6 months, whatever. Back in the day, like when you got that, because back in the day there was loyal people in the club. Nowadays, there's so many people that are just disloyal to clubs. They've got no problem joining a club just to fucking grave them and then dip off to like 600 different other clubs.
Yeah, so I was never a big fan of the gravings. You know what I mean? Again, it kind of just shows that you were never really into the club itself that you were trying to get into. You were just trying to get the patch and stuff. So
Mhm.
again, that'd be something I'll never support is the gravings like that. But again, look, you look at it in 2023 now, everybody just has their thing that they want to do, right? So gravings your
Mhm.
thing. I like who am I to sit there and totally condemn you and be like, don't ever play the game again, or you know what I mean? Like everybody
Mhm.
has their niche, whether it's legit or not, or how it's done is legit or not. It's whatever really at this point. I think you end up finding yourself spinning your wheels and talking about it too long and getting frustrated about it because you can't change it. You know what I mean? I think one of the harder things is acknowledging the fact that the things that you can't change still happen. So it's like, all
Mhm.
right, you kind of just lift your head up and you keep moving forward and you're just like, all right, the crap is what it is. Or, do you sit there and just dwell on it and you tweet about it and whatever. So I definitely think there's the two sides to it. And kind of really that's where you go from with there. Whether you agree with it or not, it's still going to happen. You know what I mean? None of us
Mhm.
have the power to sit there and wave a wand and fix it overnight or anything. So,
Well, it's always been there, right? It's been there since the fucking start. Like it's been a thing. It is what it is. But I think it's become more easy over the past few years. Not even easy. It's fucking damn near like if some clubs are small, they'll recruit anybody. As soon as you say I'm not coming unless I'm patch, they'll throw you a patch, but then they end up getting graved, right? So it's like one of those things. Like some people, you know, Sin Mob, right? We both know Sin Mob. I love those guys and awesome. I love Prime.
yeah, I
They had
haven't
a
talked to those
guy.
guys in a while.
They had a guy join their club just to, and I was there. Like, so what happened was we were just sitting there and they were trying to get their hang around to do like their first challenges or whatever. And this guy just machetes Prime right in the back. And it says no
Uh,
hard feelings, but fuck you, and then dips. Apparently he was a mafia hitman. And I was kind of sitting there, I'm like, bro, like, I don't understand. Maybe I'm just getting old, like, I might be young, but, like, I got an old school mentality, I've always been that way. Maybe I'm just, like, getting a little too old to see why the fuck people still go through so many groups just to get a patch. Like, we all, at the end of the day, yes, we build our clubs, we love our clubs, but at the end of the day, it's also still pixels. It's still pixels on your back. So I never still fully understand what the hype about joining a club just to fucking stab the president is, and why people still pay money on GTA for people to stab other people. Like, I still don't understand it.
I mean, who knows?
Like,
Maybe it's a challenge for that individual to be able to sit there and say that they hit,
I mean, I
don't
guess,
know.
like, some people like challenges, but I think you're going through too much just to get something so small. Because say if the person doesn't like the fact that their patch has been graded, they can easily just go make another one. The community is so versatile and how many talents that some people have. Some people that are shooter clubs, they fucking make amazing ass patches.
Hey, we taking the penthouse invite?
I mean, we can. I'm probably just gonna. I didn't know if you were back or not, so I was waiting for you to get back so we can go like ride a little more.
Oh yeah, I'm back.
Oh yeah, okay. So I was sitting there like wondering when you were coming back. You know what I mean? Like I think it's like some of us like you obviously you're more like you understand it a little more than I do. But I guess that's where we are like different because I kind of closed myself off from the style of gameplay that these MCs do, where you've been in some like clubs now. Like I'm not gonna name drop clubs. One of the clubs that you mentioned now is one of those lazy clubs that just kind of do what they feel like and kind of like just gave in to where the MC community is now. And you see a lot of clubs doing that. And like one of the old clubs that I used to run, I'm not gonna name names. Dude's awesome. Like the president that runs it is awesome. I got nothing against the guy. Kind of stepped down and let the person run it that was kind of like that. It kind of just got like that was just like kind of shootery and like recruited all the shooter people. So like you see all these clubs that are so good at one point kind of like take a steep decline because they either get lazier, they just don't care. The game's getting older and older and it becomes harder and harder like every day to become more legit because I've noticed as I've been playing the game the past month, right, that it's becoming harder and harder to play because there's nobody legit that likes to play the game. Like, you'll find maybe, like, once in a blue moon, a club that's will play you legit. Like, y'all used to beef with Deadly Tribe, right? But at least they kept it legit. Like, we used to beef with Deadly Tribe.
There was questionable times, but yeah.
Well, for the most part, they definitely kept it legit. And on PlayStation, for us, fighting Deadly Tribe, it was always legit. I went on PlayStation the other day. I posted up a kill comp, which I don't normally do, but this club really, like, pissed me off because all they did was bike ram me, corner shot me, blew me up, and all they were sitting there was on bikes. Like, I feel like, yeah, we're an MC, but the bike combat, if you over fucking do it, it's retarded. If all you do is sit on that fucking bike, it's dumb.
No, I'm not
Like,
good at bike combat, so you'll probably very rarely ever see me there, but yeah, I can understand that.
I was like, it was a 2v1, and all they did was just sit there on bikes, grab bikes and all this other shit. And I was sitting there, I was like, yo, bro, like, what the fuck? I'm taking my time out of my day to sit here and fight you because you guys wanted a fight. You wanted a legit fight, so I'm gonna give it to you. But you're sitting there ewoing against me, bike ramming me, and just using bikes the whole time. Like, I straight up told him, I said, at that point, you just lose the privilege of fighting me. I'll leave the lobby. I'll go spawn somewhere else. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and waste my time on fighting you. And then clubs like the shit talk over Instagram saying, hey, yo, we pushed you out. Not really, bro. You just play kind of dirty and you ain't about it. And I think like that's where the shooter clubs kind of like, they get that ego, like, hey, we just pushed out this club. We just pushed out this known club. Like, it's not really a thing. It's just the fact that some of us just don't have the energy to fight you anymore.
Oh, I definitely think it's a generational thing. Again, you know, you get a lot of the like, people that like I knew coming up in the community and stuff like that, they're not here anymore. Like, you know, they're still part of it in a way, but they're not playing really as much because, you know, like I said earlier, kind of starts getting more complicated for you, obviously, as you get older. So I think without having people to be like positive and everything like that, you put a different generation kind of in and just basically do shit all over the place. And without like
Yeah.
any kind of accountability or anything like that, it's going to continue to go on and everything like that. And then at the end of the day, what you're stuck with, something you can't change. You know, that mindset that a lot of people have now, like the enjoyable, I wouldn't be, don't be surprised if you see that kind of GTA 6. Like it's a generational thing now.
Yeah. And like back to the topic of GTA 6, like, we were talking the other night, and you brought up some good points about GTA 6, but the exact, like, I also think that a lot of people get too caught up in the rumors about the game without getting the actual
That's
facts.
because you got somebody like Mr. Boss for the win. Not either, like,
Yeah, you got like these
name.
big YouTubers. You got these
Yeah,
big
that they
YouTubers
speculate
and
about
stuff.
everything. You know what I mean?
And but then they say it's like true. At the exact same time, I always sit there and I tell people, this goes back to like running a good club too. You can't believe something without proof. If you came to me today and told my member that, like, told me that my member blew you up, and you had no proof of it, what the fuck am I gonna do about it? Or am I supposed to believe your word over someone who's been in my club for months or years, or am I supposed to believe you? I think that's where the community also gets fucked up because they're so influenced by rumors that they don't get the actual facts behind the rumors. You know how many
Yeah,
times
I
I've
think if
heard
they
that
stop
GTA
making
6 was gonna be
if they stop making
GTA
speculation videos, probably wouldn't have the issues they have, like as far as like rumors and open debates and stuff that you can't prove. These guys were making 10-minute long videos about the fact that they what do you call it? To be able to wear your hat sideways, you know, they not play the game, handle their own work for Rockstar. They'll make a 10-minute long video on it, maybe the average of views. And then they put it out there, and everybody's like, "Oh, I'm doing bro." Like he definitely has to go inside. Like it turned out that 7 hours later, he's dropping the same video, but like imperfect. You know what I mean? It's you get like a news clip, right? Like you get the CEO of Take-Two, right? There's a press conference on like MSNBC or something like that, and they're like, "Oh my God, GTA 6 is coming out this month." Like that's not even what the guy said. You know what I mean? That's not even what he said in there at all.
Yeah, like people try and read so close into what people say, and they just want it to be true, so they believe it's true. And I think, like, I see so many people excited about the GTA 6 trailer. I'm like, okay, you're like, I understand being excited. Like, I'm kind of excited to see like how it's gonna look, how things are gonna be. At the exact same time, you guys get so excited. Yay, GTA 6 is dropping. It still might not drop for another 4 years.
I would
Until we
laugh
get
if
it.
anything if the video is like does like a quick overshadow of like the number 6, and then it's like see you guys in 10 years, and then it's like cut the trailer and it's a wrap.
And yeah, like people think that there's gonna be a release date with the GTA 6 trailer. I'm like, okay, like that's understandable. You're allowed to like feel that way, but if you get your fucking hopes up, you're gonna be even more pissed off whenever like, it
Keep
doesn't
going,
happen.
I gotta do something.
Yeah, you gotta kind of just take Rockstar like literally like a day.
You gotta kind of learn, because if you like, everybody's seen this game the way it has been. Rockstar don't like listen to us. Like they don't really like.
I think they do. They just don't acknowledge.
They like to keep. They also like to keep you on your toes too. So if they know that you're gonna expect something, they're not gonna put it in.
And they look.
Like Rockstar is smart. Like Rockstar is
They
smart. It's definitely a marketing strategy that if they know what you're gonna expect from it, so they don't put what you expect in it. Like people are gonna expect a release date. I'm not gonna put money on it, but I guarantee you there's not gonna be a release date because it's only the first trailer. It'll mention the year it might come out, but it's never gonna. Until there's more trailers that come out, they're not gonna put an official release date out there. And I think that's where people get fucked up. Because people are like, oh, this trusted source said 2024, but this other trusted source said 2025. Like, it's just, the game could come out in 6 years from now. You never know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just gotta sit there and take it one day at a time with Rockstar, man. And like, once you do that and everything, you know, it is.
I'm gonna use this as an example. You know the Dead Island games, right?
I've never played any of them, but familiar with them.
You've heard of them, right?
Yeah.
So they dropped Dead Island 2 trailer 8 years ago, and the game just came out this year. It just proves that people can drop trailers, but that doesn't mean that the game's gonna come out when you want it, or that game's gonna come out a year later. There's a good chance that Rockstar will still have to work on a lot of shit.
No, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
maybe
Technical difficulties come up too, that'll delay the game. I mean, it's just what it is.
we talked about GTA either buying out 5M or partnering with 5M, whatever it is. What what do you think? Do you think Rockstar's gonna use it in their new games? Like we talked about, kind of like it was kind of like a either they wanted to make their game better or they just bought it to be like get more money from people.
So I
What was
definitely think that what they'll do is they'll try to monetize the hell out of it. You know what I mean? They'll
they've already
push.
started that too.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Because like again, just keep numbers simple. They paid $1 million for 5M. They want $1.5 million back. You know what I mean? Like they want their money and a profit. But like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna start monetizing. You're gonna see people probably paying a little bit more to own the server. You know, you're gonna have to probably pay for 60 clothing items. You know what I mean? Because I can see Rockstar being greedy like that. I kind of wish that 5M never partnered up with Rockstar. I think 5M was one of the greatest things people ever hired across the play. They gave them the avenue to, still play the game that they like,
from
but
all the
like,
bullshit.
yeah, and know what you got to play how you want it to. You got to touch your character how you truly want it.
And if you want to join like a street gang, if you wanted to roleplay as this, or you wanted to roleplay as that, like it was.
Hey, you want to be a cop instead of a biker? You know what I mean? For a couple hours a day before you go on GTA.
And I've done it, That shit's fun. Like, I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it all. It's fun.
So
I'm not gonna
I think it was a great escape, and I think I don't really want to condemn Rockstar. They're not in the interest of making something fun for everybody without getting.
We kind of discussed it. It's kind of like you see where Rockstar's coming from with all like the monetization, because they have to pay for that, and it costs them money. But they have to pay for brands. They have to pay for vehicle brands and be able to use it. But we also see where it's coming from with 5M, where things have changed so drastically, just from Rockstar only taking it over like a month or two. You have to change. There's restrictions on vehicles now, so you have to be 15% different, and all badges have to be removed related to the IRL vehicle.
Wow.
There has to be a 15% difference in the vehicles.
So you're gonna remod already modded.
So people have to remod their vehicles. Have to pay for. Say they got custom 101s like I have. I have custom vehicles that I paid for. They all have to be changed. They'll have to have badges taken off them. They have to change, like say a grille or headlights or something, or the interior. Like it has to be a 15% difference from the IRL vehicle.
Yeah, see that's crazy. But again, like that's where they're gonna look to get their money back.
Rockstar's gotta do it. Well, I understand it to a point where like I understand why people are pissed off at Rockstar too, like we discussed. I think it's frustrating. I think it's Rockstar's taking people's freedom away, kind of like what they did with GTA 5. They could have added so much into GTA 5 that 5M added in their first fucking days of being around.
But the funny thing is that you have people doing it on 5M for either very cheap or close to free. You know what I mean? They took a game that made billions of dollars for a company and changed it to be more unique and give it for free. Like you know what I mean? The creativeness Rockstar, I think, is going to totally take out of 5M. Again, I think they're going to squeeze in the debt and try to monetize it for extra income. And unfortunately, I think you're going to have a large wave of people, maybe not right away, but I think in due time, being like, this is bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? This isn't what 5M was, and this, that, and the other thing. And they might find themselves not having as much fun as they once had on there. You know what I mean?
And it kind of like, and I kind of described it as it's kind of like console, but just with added cuts and added like custom clothing. That's pretty much what it is. That's what it's going to turn out to be. The way that Rockstar's going about it right now, it's going to be PC. It's going to be like PC Online, but with mods. That's all it is.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it's sad to see, because before Rockstar took over, I had so much fun on 5M. Like I talked to you, I was in a club on there, and like I talked to you about how fucking awesome 5M was and how shit was going great. And now you're kind of like getting all that shit taken away from you, because all cities have to abide by it, or 5M could take legal action or take their city away that they've been working on for 5+ years.
And see, that's what I find extremely crazy because like you have people that when they have the time, put forth the energy to make the game fun, not only themselves but people that are in that city as well. And then to sit there and be like, well, you know, you guys didn't follow this particular rule, so boom, gone. It's like, well, wait a minute, that's 5 years worth of work that say one person did or a group of people
And
did.
think about
you're
how
taking
much
it
money
wrong.
they've. Think about how much money, because I know a person that put $30,000 into their city. 30,000. Like that's a lot of fucking cash, and
God
cash ain't
bless.
easy to go by. I
Yeah,
can
no,
speak from
true.
experience. Wonder how much it costed me to just put in 4 or 5 scripts into my city when I bought it. It costed me $500 and something dollars. Like it's not
That's
cheap.
wild.
And just for even for some like websites where you go to rent cities, some you're paying $200 fucking dollars to rent a city from.
Wow.
And then
That,
say you break your city, say you have a problem with it and it breaks, you're out that money and you have to go pay for a new one. Like I broke mine, and I had to go pay another. I paid $200 for one website, just for me to fuck it all up and clothing not to work. I had to go buy another city to get clothing to work.
that just
Like
sounds expensive.
it's not like it's not cheap, and it's not. You do it for the enjoyment of people, right? But then you got, but then Rockstar comes in and it was like all your work was for nothing. And in
Yeah,
a way,
because
you
again,
kind of
they
want
want
their.
their money, they want their investment
Yeah.
back, plus a profit. That's unfortunately
And
not
eventually
really how
they're just gonna gain no money from it. Eventually they're just gonna gain nothing from it.
Yeah, because like I said,
Because soon
they'll
enough, people aren't
squeeze
gonna
the
play.
player base, and people are gonna be like, you know what, I'm not having fun. It's not as free as it used to be. So I don't know. Like, again, they had the opportunity to sit there and do the right thing, take care of the people that were playing 5 and 6 years, and
It's too
just
much
do the
of a
right
greed.
thing. But like, if they're gonna go into the greed, they're gonna suffocate those players too, and they're gonna find
But
themselves being, just gonna put a bunch of crap on their
and
team.
see, that's how the real world is nowadays. The real world nowadays is just all about fucking suffocating everything for money. Like we all, like there's some people that could give less of a fuck about money. A lot of people, they work so fucking hard to make money, they just won't stop. And they'll suffocate and they'll
We'll
do
make it
whatever
right
they
up
have
there.
to do to make that dollar, right?
Right.
Do whatever they have to do to make that dollar. And that's kind of like, yeah, this is like a podcast about MCQ and GTA6, but it kind of like reaches into the real world a little bit, because a lot of these people that play this way in the game that are so fucking toxic and like brag about this and brag about that, they're the same fucking people IRL. They're the same people that bully people IRL for being poor. They're the same people that do this, the same people that do that. So you kind of just sit there, you kind of just wonder, like, if the world was different, would the MC community be different? If the world was different, do you think this game would be different?
It's a good
Like,
point.
it's kind of
You bring in a generational and society thing into it. Like, yeah, that definitely could explain some of the things that go on.
like all these kids, like you have kids that sit there and tell people to kill themselves, tell people to sit there and commit suicide. You got some people that like get bullied so hard IRL that games are kind of their escape, and then they get the gang shit and they end up taking their own life, right? They can't escape it from IRL and or in the game, so people take their life from it, and then people make jokes about it, and people think it's funny. You know what I mean?
Gaming should never get that personal. You know what I mean? Gaming, again, should be fun for everybody, regardless. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you can sit there and trash talk. Trash talk is always been a thing. But I don't feel trash talk ever goes so deep, so personal on people
Yeah,
that
and
like,
then
you potentially alter their views on their own life. I think that's extreme. You know, if you go back to the days of simple trash talk, like, oh, your mama's so dumb, shit like that. Like, all right, that's what it used to be, man. We remember back in the day, like a Call of Duty mom, there was something more like trash talk in there. But, like now, everybody's doing it on like a more cynical level.
yeah, and like, see, people's, and when those people take their life, right, there's still people that sit there and shit on him. There's still those same people that made him like to the breaking point where they still shit talk. I actually went to, in 2017, the MC community is so fucked that people think it's okay to do this and they brag about it. So the MC community, you good, Paros? Did you have to go off for a minute?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna smoke again.
Alright, but like, I went to Funeral Ride in 2017, right? It was chill for the first bit of it. Then we got on this massive fucking ride, and this was for a guy that, yeah, he was a part of the MCU community, but he was also a cop IRL.
Mhm.
You know Thug X Seth or Thug X, I can't remember his name. But you know Thug Riders, right? Do you know them? Like they fought Reaper Lords, so you
I
know them.
recall them, yeah.
Yeah, there was a guy in there that passed away. He was an IRL cop, and these people just came in that fucking ride and just blew it all up with oppressors. And I'm sitting there like, bro, it's alright to disrespect a man in game. Like, you can fucking disrespect his ego in a game. Whatever. But if you're sitting there blowing up a fucking funeral ride, just to, like, just to spit on someone that's done so much IRL, that served your communities IRL, I think that's just where the game, like, where people take this game too far.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it should never get that personal. Ever.
And it's definitely the generation, because this generation that we're in, it's all about fucking who's better than who. And all
Like, there's
like
a
all
lot
the
of people I've met over the years that I wasn't particularly fond of. You know what I mean? But the beef ended when the console got turned off. You know what I mean? Like, look, I may sit there and be like, all right, I don't like modded accounts, and I don't like this, and I don't like that. I don't hate the person behind it. You know what I mean? Like, sure, I hate what you're using against me. You know what I mean? But like, again, I have nothing personal or any kind of hatred towards that person in that account. You know what I mean?
See, like, yeah, you could say fuck you, but as soon as you take it out of the game, you're like you're no better. You're no better than fucking the people that do that shit in IRL, right? There's no, like, you're no different. You're like, you show your true colors in game and out of game. Because like it's a like, I got into an argument with this one guy because I retextured a patch that I got, and then I wanted to like sell it because I made a new school patch. I bought an old school patch for it. Like, I made all this shit for it, and then I just was like, oh fuck it, I'll sell it. I'm not gonna use it. Like, I might as well sell it. So they joined the Discord where I was a patch maker, and he started going off. And then he also came in my DMs, and I'll read you exactly what he said, which is just crazy, which blew my mind that people take this game that fucking serious. He said, kill yourself, retarded faggot, your life is worthless. And I'm like,
Yeah, like, see, it doesn't need to go to that level. Like, you can have disagreements with people and still keep it.
it's alright to be toxic, but like, be toxic in game.
I wouldn't even
Like,
say
don't
that.
like, not
You
like,
could
not
just-
like toxic like that, but like, you can shit talk each other in game. Like, it's other things where, like, as soon as you bring real life out to it, there's no, like, you might as well just turn off your console and just, like, not play the fucking game, because you just make it, there's no reason for it. There's no, like, reason behind it.
Like I said,
Like,
you know, you can
Like, you
keep
don't know
it-
me
you can
IRL,
keep
you
it
don't know what
civil.
issues I face. Like,
Right, exactly.
like, say you're saying that to me, and I do it, and I put you down as a main reason, you're automatically gonna be arrested for it. Like, you fuck up your whole entire life. Like, as soon as someone puts down your name and that you were the reason for it, it's an automatic arrest. You automatically fuck your whole entire future because you don't know how to control your mouth.
I mean, look, I don't know, like, legal ramifications behind that stuff, but I would always just treat it like, you know what?
Yeah, like, you always treat it
trash-talking
like you
game.
don't fucking take it at a game. You never take it at a game. And I think that's where people now, like, the generation, like, we were talking about generation society, like, nowadays, that's just a society norm. You got people, like, you got the same people IRL that bully people on their personal Instagrams for how they look, that they're the same people that come in here telling people to hang themselves and shit, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a society norm. And I
don't know,
think
I
that,
used to say that social media allowed people to be
yeah, social
what, like,
media,
nature
you can
intended
throw
them to
on, you can throw on whatever on social media. But, like, you'll never see a person in person. Like, say someone told me, like, they're gonna beat the fuck out of me, right? And I tell them to, like, pull up, like, come see me IRL and say it to my face, right? Like, nobody's gonna do it. Social media allows you to do it.
Well, I think
Like, what are you
social
gonna
media
do?
takes out a lot of accountability. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
for people's actions.
Like, what are they gonna do? They get banned, they get their account banned, but they're able to go create another one.
Yeah, that's true. Too.
Like,
That's true.
you don't, like, social media doesn't put any stop to anything. It just adds fuel to the fire because people can do whatever the fuck they want, and the only
Well, if
thing
you
that's
think
gonna
about
happen
it,
to them
social
is they get
media,
banned.
social media is a business too, right? So if you ban
Yeah.
people, what is social media's end goal? Is they want to keep individuals on, say, Facebook or Twitter or whatever for as long as they can, right? Because you're pushing that.
Yeah.
people being on means that your app or your social media site's being used. So, like, sure, they'll ban people, but I think what they do with bans, from a business standpoint, is that like they give the person that's being affected a gratification that this person is gone, but then they also know damn well that they want that person back on using that app because it's more eyeballs looking at the ads and the average. You know what I mean? So it's really. Is there really any justice to it at the end of the day? I don't think so. I think it's like.
I think everybody starts a business for good intentions, like social media businesses start things for good intentions, but then they just get progressively worse over the years because they have to evolve with the way that the way society is now. Like they can't.
Well, think about it. What's one of the best ways to keep people on a site? They're sitting there trash talking each other for 4 hours. That's 4 hours that
they
that
spend
app or
sending
that media
messages
company
and
just
shit,
made.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
It's kind of like IRL, like companies,
companies.
like some companies make like it's kind of like companies IRL. So let's say I work away, right? Like I work 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off at a camp away from home, and I do whatever. The company makes money from me even being up there. Like just sending me up there, they probably make thousands of dollars.
Right.
It's just all like I think that's where greed comes into it. It's all about the money.
Yeah, well, everything
Right,
like that. You know what I mean? That's the business
like
model. 101.
yeah, but like then you got it's kind of but Instagram's kind of like GTA. There's never like really any real anything added to it. It's pretty much the same app. Like yeah, the layout changes here and there. They mix it up for like a little bit. Like even if they just took some of the money that they make from Instagram and put it back into it and like ban the people that are like heavily toxic and permanently ban them so they can come back on the app, they could be perfect. You know what I mean? Like even some of the MC community, like, they post up some like horrific shit. And some people will post up people's like other like inappropriate pictures. Like say they got a picture from a female, they're gonna immediately post it up on their story and no ramifications coming from it. Like there's no repercussions. They just get banned and that's it.
Yeah, unfortunately,
and then that person that got their shit leaked is affected by it. Like the MC community, and I can't really just say the MC community, all communities, because it's all like tryhards, it's all street gangs, it's all crime families. Like like back in the day, like we talked about this, it was about who could post the most badass content. Who could post?
I agree. Yeah.
Who could post the better videos? Who can edit this better? Who can do this? And back in the day when I was an Outcast Reaper in 2017, that's what it was. Like when I got onto Instagram, it was like, hey, can I create better content than you? Like we had contests in Outcast Reapers to where who could post a better picture? Who could post a better themed picture? And
yeah, I think a lot of people got away from that. You know what I mean? Because it was like the challenge should have been, all right, I make a photo, Cobra makes one better, and I gotta make it better than him. You know what I mean? But meanwhile, there's somebody looking at what we're doing, and they're like, all right, I'm gonna be better than those two. I mean, so it was like a friendly competition, and that led to doing collabs and this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, it's definitely changed the whole landscape. A lot of things have changed, and again, things will change, things will evolve, and that's just what it's always going to be. And unfortunately, you may like the change, you may not like it, but at the end of the day, sadly, there's nothing that you can do about it.
yeah. And so like one of my questions is we're gonna go back to like the MC community topic because I kind of got off topic a little bit, but it also kind of like it was also with the MC community all those topics that I said. I kind of got a little off track with it, but what MCs like what old school MCs? Because like obviously some old school MCs that are still out there. You still hang with some. You still see them all over Instagram. Which old school MCs do you think are really gonna bring the MC community over the GTA 6?
So, like, right off the top of my head, I would have to sit there and say, like, you'll definitely see Reaper Lords on GTA 6. You'll see Devil's View on GTA 6. You'll definitely see, like, Strikers and Exiled. You'll see them over there. And then a lot of, I think you're going to see the giant urban and youth clubs over there, But yeah, if any club that's still around now, regardless to whether it's 2013 or 15, 17, whatever. I think you're going to see a lot of clubs, old and new, make their way over. I think you're going to see probably even, like clubs that you haven't seen in a long time come back. right? You know, you take like
Because
Smoke
Sons
Dogs
of
or you
War,
take
Sons
yeah,
of
like
War
those
recruit
guys,
coming to
Banish Breed.
GTA 6. Yeah.
You know, I definitely see a lot of clubs making the return. I definitely think that a lot of clubs are going to transfer over because it's going to be something new and exciting for each club to kind of try and explore, right? The new game, so it's like, all right, who can be the best now? Add some content. Who can do this first? Who can do that first? You know, who can get Rockstar's attention to possibly get featured? So I definitely think that there's a great level of challenge that's going to come with GTA 6. I hopefully think it's going to be a positive one. I think it's going to give a lot of clubs like a new fresh breath of air, you know what I mean, to really want to get back on, start doing things again. You know, for people that were bored of the game and stuff like that, I think this will definitely, again, bring that back. Because, like I said, I think it's just going to be that fresh breath of air that everybody needs. You know, sure, is it going to be rock solid on day one? Probably not. Because no game's ever perfect when it first comes out. But I think, again, that there's going to be so many people that will be excited to just be able to, man, be in a new city, or, you know, the graphics are so cool, your character is so cool in a new graphic platform. I mean, I think it's going to be endless as long as Rockstar kind of does the right thing with it. And like I said, I think you're going to see a lot of clubs transfer over, both old and new. And I think you're going to see a good return of clubs that we haven't seen for a while. Also, so I'm looking
Yeah,
forward
because
to it. I just hope it's fun.
we talked with Sons of War because we got we have got something coming with Sons of War, right? So we talked to them, and they said their recruitment's completely stopped until GTA 6. They're not recruiting. They're not taking anybody new. They're not gonna do anything. They're gonna continue working on their videos and shit until GTA 6. So like I think a lot of the clubs that like kind of like just like not really like disappear, but like just kind of like take a leave of absence for a little bit are the clubs that you'll definitely see on there. I talked to a Banished Breed member here and there. They're mainly Red Dead 2 because I'm gonna be honest, sometimes it's like the clubs that switched over to Red Dead 2, some of the clubs just kind of enjoy the game. Don't like over there it's not as toxic. Yeah, it's toxic. I'll give it that. I played Red Dead 2. I'm not fully oblivious to what happens over there, but I played it. It's not as toxic as GTA 5. Still got those like kids that sit there and shit talk, whatever. It's not as toxic. So I think the clubs that kind of switched over to that game, you'll see a lot more activity out of them once they, like, maybe they'll take a little bit before they hop on the game, kind of just see where the game's at. But I also got a question. So like I heard there's a rumor. I'm not gonna say it's true or not. I'm not gonna get my hopes up for it, but there's a rumor that you're not going to be able to pull an RPG out of your ass anymore. You're not going to be able to do certain things that you were able to do on this game, like the whole blow yourself up shit. So do
Or
you
have
think
like an
that's gonna
expanded weapon wheel.
yeah? So do you think that's gonna help with the toxicity, or like help the MC community, or like kind of like transfer over back to the way it was? Somewhat.
So,
Not. It's never gonna be the way it is. It was.
I think by, say, having like a limited weapon wheel, and like how you have it on, say, like Red Dead, I think that's very helpful. You know what I mean? I definitely think that once you take out the e-rolling factor and everything like that, will it make a full return to the old days? Who knows? Because, you know, let's say you can't pull out an RPG, but you have a stick. I mean, you fight against players all the time that still drop them off. Right? I mean, they're gonna blow themselves up that way. So it's like, okay, what kind of weapons are we going to possibly have access to? You know, and I think that would definitely help. I think by not being able to like instantly kill yourself or blow yourself up or whatever, kind of puts the control of scorecards back into both players' hands. You know what I mean? It gives that fair attempt to be like, all right, who is the best? You know what I mean? Because if you can't control the scorecards and stuff like that, like, you know, for a guy like myself that gets mopped all the time, it's like, oh shit, man, I might even have half a chance over there, you know. So, in a positive outlook, it would be nice. But I mean, then if you also look at it too, where like take fighting another MC out of the picture, right? Let's say you're fighting a kid that for some reason has an insurgent or a band. You know, the nice thing was that you were able to blow up that militarized weapon with an RPG, right? Somebody gets a jet. Now you can't AR somebody out of a jet. So does it hinder and handicap? Sure. Does it provide the possibility of things kind of going back to a fair playing field? Yeah. So I definitely think with anything else that's going to come with GTA 6 is like the pros and cons to it, and then you
Oh,
kind of just got to
absolutely.
see what you get out of it, what Rockstar
You
actually
kind of got
offers.
to take into account what type of play style are you gonna want to have? Are you gonna want to have the legit play style where you have the restrictions on you, or are you gonna want to go be a military crew and go hop in your jets? And I think that's where the MC community is going to grow smaller and the amount of clubs are just going to shrink because you're not going to be able to do what they used to be able to do. Or they're going to change. It'd be dope to see some Shoot First Club change. It'd be dope to see some
Hmm.
more old school some more old school clubs out there, so clubs like mine and yours aren't just a bunch of fucking dying breeds.
Like
Like I
Because
said,
right
current
now
example.
that's all it is.
you gotta really just take it with a grain of salt with Rockstar. 'Cause, they're obviously never gonna tell you what they plan to do, or
Yeah,
you're always gonna have the
that's a whole part of the
speculations out there.
strategy. It's all part of the strategy.
Like I said, it's definitely going to be an exciting process to see how they do things and what changes that they do make. And then, like I said too, there's always pros and cons to every change. You know what I mean? You might like it at first, and you're like, oh, shit, man, like goddamn jet, like I can't fight him anymore. You know what I mean? So, I think what would be even cooler, people have always said this over the years, is that okay, make it so that we can control our own lobbies, like not an invite-only lobby, but say, for instance, like a public session where it's these limited
The
weapons and
host
these
can
limited weapons only.
remove people, and like maybe like even if they just put in like say the first person that's in that lobby, right? The host is the one that's able to remove people. You don't have to have half the fucking lobby to remove them, right? Like say if I don't like this person, he's just sitting there and fucking blowing me up and I can't do nothing about it, boom, I could kick him out. If he's being toxic and like griefing and I'm just wanting to chill, and he's griefing other people and other people are complaining, boom, he's gone. There's no ifs, ands, or questions about it. But Rockstar will never do that because they won't make money that way.
Yeah, like I said, for me, I would just hope that they keep it time accurate. You know what I mean? If you're gonna take away RPGs and stuff like that, like they
Put
should
in the
have really
precautions.
learned over the last 10 years of what it is that players find very annoying versus what they find to actually be beneficial for themselves and the crews or communities that they're with. Will they do that? I'm gonna go with probably a hard no. There's probably so much
Yeah,
technical difficulties that come with that it probably never
they
comes
gotta
to
put
light.
in so many safety precautions. They gotta put in so many precautions to make sure that it's gonna, you know,
I would like
be
to
an
see them
absolute
put
good
in
thing.
security, a little bit more security as far as like protecting the players on say IP addresses and stuff like that. Really
Oh,
track down
absolutely.
on modders. I think would probably really help out. I don't really play a lot on PC, but for like friends that I do have that play over there, I mean modders pretty much run that over there. Like everything else. You got good modders, you got bad modders. You know what I mean? So it's like
You got
Rockstar,
modders
take
that'll
the
take away your
initiative.
rank, and then you got the modders who will just rank you up and give you the money. Like it just really depends.
Yeah, so I would
Like
like to see Rockstar be very proactive in that. You know what I mean? Again, like you really, without going full speculation mode, it's definitely hard to try and predict what it is that they're going to do, especially as a company that doesn't talk to anybody. You know what I mean? Like let's
yeah.
just call that for what it is, right? They don't really communicate with the base as much as they probably should. But hey, again, like I can only hope that they did sit there for the last 10 years and be like, okay, we need to get rid of this. All right, we need to change that. Like, get rid of off the radar and defensive mode. Get rid of all that crap. Like, just make it so that you can sit there and just play the game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Limit the amount of exploits that are out there. You know what I mean? Because they're not gonna want anybody doing money glitches and do glitches, which is fine because it's again really not my thing. I don't care. But if Rockstar is gonna really try and sit there and make like a really good game out of it, I think they need to really try and attack it from all different angles to make it as best of the game that they can make it. Change up the servers, change up loading times. Do you know what I mean? Like, just I don't know. Like, just take the 10 years that you had here and just I don't know, fix it.
Yeah. But so I got like 5 people watching. I'm gonna open up the comments. If y'all got any questions for Powerhouse or any questions that both him and I can answer, you can go ahead. I'm gonna try and come up with a couple more questions. Definitely have a question I've definitely talked about. Because
No,
I brought it up to you when we were fighting that red guy, right? So my
I
question
do have
would have
a question for
go ahead.
Powerhouse.
Go ahead, Cody.
What made you decide to like choose the La Carreta, if I'm saying that correctly. Like the bottom rocker instead of power.
Yeah, you really don't see that bottom rocker, so I'm kind of like, yeah, that question's kind of like, how'd you choose your bottom rocker, the location?
So we did it. We did it as a club So originally, when Hell's Madnet back in the day, we had a Polito charter and we had a Stab City charter. When we came back, right, and we all sat down and like trying to figure out what locations we wanted to be at and this, that, and the other thing. One of the biggest things that I wanted to do was have a rocker that you don't really see and a territory that you don't really see. Right, you see a lot of Rafe Steeds, and you see a lot of Polito Bays, and Los Santoses, and San Andres, you know what I mean? Like, so, again, with a 10-year-old game and the map being the way that it is, that there's only so many places that you can really go to. But yeah, for me, I really just wanted to have a location, a bottom rocker that you just didn't see as much, you know? Kind of give it like that uniqueness. You know what I mean? As a club, do we have really any kind of special ties to the area on the map? No. You know what I mean? We were solely going for just having like a unique area that's not overused or overseen, and just really just trying to be as unique really as people be. And yeah, that's really about it.
I think all clubs should, like, eventually you're gonna run out of ideas, but I think all clubs should be unique. Like our club, we got the ribbon rockers, but if you look up close in my mods, it's got like that stitching effect on it, which you never see with any other clubs. Like, yeah, they might have these ribbon rockers, but like you never see like the certain stitching effect. You never see, you know, like this style of patch unless someone's saw this patch and wanted to recreate it. So I think that clubs being unique and setting their own like thing out there is definitely like, you know, it's definitely a neat and necessary thing, because as soon as you become like every other club, you lose your sense of originality, and then you lose your sense of being defined as your own club. You're just a fucking another knockoff of this club. You're another knockoff of that one.
Well, look, you know,
I
one thing too that if you look at it is that there's a lot of clubs that do a lot of things really well, right? And you know, I'm always a big fan of taking the good and bad. You know what I mean? Because like, look, there's clubs that have perfected, say, a prospect process. Right? Maybe you don't want to do it exactly the way that they do it, but oh, man, like, you know, you can take good things out of it and maybe put your own spin on it, right? And then you can take something that a club does that's like, say, horrible. You're like, man, but you know what? If you take that and you just tweak it just a little bit, you know what I mean? You can make it into a good thing. You know, so I think that, you know, another thing that I would like to see a lot of people do is that, like, you know, whether you're starting up a club or you're thinking of joining, you know, really sit down and just do the homework and, you know, take the time to see, you know, what worked, what doesn't, what's good, what's bad, you know, what do you want to be a part of? Like, it's like what I said earlier, like, you know, have a vision, have a goal, and stuff like that. You know, take the things that I'm mentioning now and you put it into that aspect and try to, like, again, nothing ever comes out perfect on the first try. You know what I mean? There's many things that I've tried, whether regardless of what club I was in, you know, a lot of things that I tried that failed. You know what I mean? Like, again, not everything passes on the first try. Not every idea is going to be great or any like spoils. You know what I mean? So, you know, don't be afraid to try things. Don't be afraid to fail. You know what I mean? You can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pocket. You know, so again, if I could just give out wise words of wisdom to anybody that's listening or will eventually be listening to this podcast, it's that it's those key things. You know what I mean? And hey, don't be afraid to give it the college try. And if it doesn't work out, it's all right. You're not a complete failure. You know what I mean? Just maybe the timing wasn't right, or whatever the case is. Like, just don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah. All right. So I just got like another question here. This is my personal, because we talked about it like a tiny bit. Like we always talk about so much whenever we're in parties. We always like kind of like I fill you in on little things, and like you give me your perspective on things all the time. So I gotta ask for like the viewers. So we got you well, you know, we got a whole bunch of presidents that have like the biggest fucking egos ever, right? Like there's just people around there with just too many egos. So for people that start up new clubs and they got that fucking ego that they're the best and they deserve support and they deserve all this, what's your opinion on that? Do you think they deserve it, or do you think they gotta earn it like everybody else did and stop with that big fucking ego?
So I'll go out on the limb here and say that, you know, sometimes having an ego isn't always a bad thing, right? As long as you utilize it the right way, right? Because like without an ego, you can find yourself kind of being like a guy always like to say, be a good man, not a nice man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be able to have firm footing. You know what I mean? And kind of take no shit, but at the same time too have that same amount of humbleness, where that like, if somebody says something to you, don't always take it so personal to the point where you let emotions start talking for you. You know, so you could have an ego. You know what I mean? But you also want to be humble. You know, you also want to make sure that like, what's the cool heads always fail. Right? So you wanna have that approach. You wanna have that mentality. You're gonna have it 100% of the time. You're just gonna have that bad day. Where they're like your girlfriend or your husband or whoever is just riding your ass. Right? You're not happy, right? And then you might snap. It's human nature. You know what I mean? And it's okay. But again, now the other thing, as far as trying to think that anything is deserving to be given to you, I'm a big believer that everything that you do, whether it's in real life or in this game, you gotta earn everything. You know what I mean? You can't have your hand out all the time. You can't expect to, just have the world given to you. Sometimes you gotta go out there and go and take some things for yourself, and you make it your own. But like, if you want credit to be given to you, you gotta do something worthy of the credit for those to actually return the credit to you. You know what I mean? Like, if you do something positive, right? And you're just like, all right, let's say you run a charity event, St. Jude's or something like that, right? If you want people to sit there and be like, oh man, he's got a good idea, he's always giving back, and this, that, and everything, you got to do the things that lead to that. You know what I mean? You got to earn the credit to get it. So, you know what I mean? Like, don't ever push your hand out. Don't be afraid to go out and, try to do things on your own. You know what I mean? A lot of times when you get credit when you least expect it, you'll sit there and actually admire it more than you would actually be if you're sitting there just expecting being like, oh, Copa's eventually going to hit me up and say, good job, Powerhouse. It's like, again, when you least expect it and you get it, that's when you know that others really appreciate what it is that you've done.
Yeah, I get that, and I completely agree with you. So, fuck, I had a question in my head. It's just gone out of my head now. So, like, you know the story about how we've been and how things have gone for us. And I kind of got like, I'm kind of curious because I don't think we've ever talked about it. So say Reaper Lords, whatever, like an old club, they shut down, right? And their founder and president was like, here, I want to sell it. I want someone else to continue the legacy and try their best to do what they do. What do you think, that club is fake or the real ones? Because we've had this talk before, like a little bit in DMs, but we've never fully gone into that discussion. Because we get that
So
whole ridicule
like,
of we're fake. Yeah, like, what's your personal opinion on it? Like, what, like, say Reaper Lords sold to someone else because they wanted someone else to carry on the legacy. Would those be real Reaper Lords, or would you consider them fake Reaper Lords?
So I think how I would really approach that is that as long as there were still members, like whether they were ex-members 2 years ago or like current members that got sold, which I guess really wouldn't make sense, right? Because then one would just take over. I definitely think there's a sense of true roots if you had members that take that club over. If Reaper Lord sold out completely, and then let's say there were 10 guys in there that were never a part of that club, ever, you know what I mean? Would I consider them to be real lords as an ex-lord? I would not know.
They would have to prove themselves for it.
Yeah, like, you definitely wouldn't sit there
like those clubs, like,
right.
Yeah, like, when we got Outcast Reapers, right, I didn't expect us to be, like, fucking respected and, like, all that shit. Because there's some, like, we had people in there. I'm one of an ex-Outcast Reaper member with 2017 and 2021. Like, it's not like I haven't been around the club before. But, like, I can understand some people's frustration with it, like I've said to you. Like, we've got to earn what we got to earn it. It's not one of those things where we just throw back on and we're like, hey, we're the originals. Like, that's not how that works. But, like, I think with all the shit, like, we continue, like, some people stop calling us fake and some people just stop shooting at us and respect it. I think it's the fact of, like, a club can shut down, but if it's not run by, like, the person that ran it from before, people are kind of skeptical on the club and wonder if the club's even going to be the same, or this, that, or third, keep the same bylaws, or just change. And I think some people also when we bought the club, we're just like, hey, like I didn't even get the opportunity to buy it, and this person got this person got that, right? And to be clear, I didn't even buy it from Davis. That was not me. People always have that comment like, hey, well, you bought it from Davis, you bought it. And I was like, actually, the guy who bought it was gonna shut it down, so I just threw him some money, and I already had the cruise, so like I was just throwing him some money, so it was an extra generous offer, so he didn't close the club down and just handed it to me. Like some people want clubs to succeed, and some people genuinely love their clubs. Like this one, for me, this was my very first like legit club, the very first legit club I ever fucking joined, and the best club I joined. I'll never sit there like that was Mad Men when I was a prospect. It was close second. Okay, I'm not gonna say it was shit club. Like this was the best club I joined. So when I
And
sit
yeah,
there,
I
and see
get it.
people
You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I said, you're never gonna make 100% of the people happy. Everybody's
right?
always entitled to their own opinion. People are gonna feel the way that they want to feel. That's totally fine. You know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, it really just comes down to what it is that you guys do. You know what I mean? That propels you forward. And then really just, you know, you can see, you know, because you might have people that at one end, they're like, oh man, you know, they're gonna ruin that name. You know what I mean? And then you have others that are like, oh, you know, they weren't our members or whatever the case is. You know, like, I'll never pass judgment on anybody for the way that they feel and this, that, and the other. I may agree or disagree with them at times, absolutely, but you know, again, at the end of the day, everybody's entitled to have their opinions on things, and
Yeah.
I think what individuals do at the end of the day really make the determination about how something actually ends up coming out. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys took over Outcast Reapers and you totally tanked it, you know what I mean? Like, that's on you guys. But now, you take over Outcast Reapers and you guys, you know, shoot it to the stars and everything like that, well, then it's that hard work paid off for you guys. I think it's just truly about how you go about it, how you do it, and then it's really at the end of the day how you represent.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm just gonna ask this for someone that may be interested in ever joining House Mad Men. So what's your guys' process like? Because like I was a part of it, but a lot of people like don't know what your process is like, or what your process even is. So
Yeah,
people that are like interested in joining, if you want to like explain that.
yeah. So the biggest thing for us is that you reach out to us. You know what I mean? We will sit there and double check your accounts and everything like that. But like, one thing that we don't allow here is modded accounts. You know, modded money is whatever. You want to sit there and be able to buy 100 Mulattoes, whatever the hell you're gonna do with that money. Cool. You want to buy every card in the game? Cool. You know, whatever. But obviously, we don't care if you're the greatest shooter around. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We don't care if you're the world's greatest content creator. You know, just the thing that we care about is just be a genuine person. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Be able to sit there and vibe with the club, have the club vibe with you. You know what I mean? Don't be scummy and caustic. Don't be racist. We don't accept any of that. We don't have any kind of sexism or bashing or religion or anything like that. Like, you know, just come to the door, be cool, calm, collected. Uh, you know, yeah, there's a little bit of hazing, you know what I mean? But it's not like, you know, we
It's not
demoralize you.
terrible.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, sure, there's tasks that you got to do, absolutely. Right? But yeah, the biggest thing is just having that open line of communication between yourself and the club. You know what I mean? Being able to, you know, mix well with everybody that's already there, right? Because, like you're saying, you can't make 100% of the people happy, so that means not 100% of the times that you're not always going to agree with somebody, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, be formidable, be respectful. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, be yourself. Don't try to be anything that you know you may think that we want you to be. You know, because obviously, if you're not you, then you know you gotta put it. You're not you, then you know benefit it. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to hang around people that have like fake personas and stuff like that. So, yeah, I guess
Mm-hmm.
really it's just you know you reach out to a member. We go from there. Like right now, we don't have any current prospects. So it's a little bit on the slower end. But
Yeah.
yeah, you know, going forward into the future, yeah, you reach out if you're interested. You know, what's more to you. We send you a questionnaire that you fill out. You know, it's nothing personal. We're not asking for like your social security number, blood, or you know, anything like that. Um, you know, if you pass everything as far as checks and balances, then you know you get a shot at it. And hey, if it's not for you and stuff like that, you decide to leave. That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want you to feel like you're going to be wasting your time doing something that you don't want to do. You know what I mean? If you
Mm-hmm.
leave as a prospect and stuff like that, you know what I mean? We're not gunning you down in lobbies. We're not hunting you. Myself, I
I
always
am
generally
living
tell
proof.
people when they leave that, like, oh, hey, best of luck on the way to future endeavors. You know what I mean? Like, we're around. If you want to hang out, shoot the shit. You want to ever ask me questions, bounce anything off me or whatever. Or if for some reason you feel my perspective on something that might help you out. DMs, doors, everything is always open.
Yeah, and I can sit there and back you up on that. And I think so. I'm gonna add on to your stuff. And their prospecting takes however long it takes. So if you're going in there thinking you're gonna be patched in 2 weeks, don't worry about that. You're gonna
Yeah,
have
please.
to.
Yeah,
You're gonna
have a
have
close
to
around
be
that.
like, yeah, they're a club that they're very tight with their members. They all like family to each other, so it's gonna take time to go in there. Just like if you were to join Outcast Reapers, it takes a long time to get in here because we're all so fucking close. We've been a part of the same club now for the past 6-8 months straight. We've all shot the shit with each other. I know all my members' real names. I have my members added on Facebooks. It's I know my members on a personal level, just like I'm pretty sure Powerhouse, you know your members on a like personal level. So
Yeah,
if you guys
absolutely.
think that you're gonna come into the club and you can prospect for 2 weeks and get your patch, it's not gonna go like that. It's You're gonna put in probably quite a bit of time, maybe a month, couple months. You're gonna be still there prospecting. You're still gonna be doing your challenges, but it's worth it joining clubs like Hell's Madmen or joining Outcast Reapers or any of the old school clubs because they're so fucking tight knit and they're just all about family. All the things that you do in a shooter club, we do except for the shooting, the EWOing and all that shit. We all do the same shit. It's just, I guess it's technically player preference, but we're just, the only thing that we can't provide for you is the shooting aspect. It's really the only thing we cannot provide for you. And most of the time, if you join a shooter club, they're not even family. They're just guys you shoot with.
Again, do your homework. You know what I mean? Do your homework before you
Joining a
apply
club, ask the
anywhere.
questions. Ask the
Yeah.
questions. Make sure, maybe if you want to talk to a member in a party, to ask what their club's all about. Or even just shoot them a message saying, hey, I just want to know a little bit more about your club before I even make a decision on whether I want to fill in an application. That's fine. Most of the time, we'll talk to you. We'll have a good conversation with you. We'll tell you what our club's about. We'll ask, hey, or like, for me, when people ask, like if we're recruiting, I ask, are you content or shooter based? And if they say shooter based, I'm like, well, this club might not be the club for you, but here's some suggestions of a shooter club that you may enjoy, then you'll enjoy here. Because I'd much
Again,
rather have,
take your
yeah,
time, do your homework. You know what I mean? Don't rush into anything. You know, make sure that you're comfortable with your decision at the end of the day, right? That you don't feel like you're forced into anything. You know what I mean? You just take it low and slow, man. You'll find what it is you're looking for. There's a lot of different options out there. You know what I mean? Only
there's a
you
lot of
can make
clubs.
the decision that works best for you. And remember, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, right? You want to make sure that you're contributing something like time, energy into something that you truly care about. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Do your homework, take your time, and just make sure you're comfortable with your decision at the end of the day.
exactly. Right. So, yeah, that's our little piece of advice to y'all. Anybody looking for a club, say you're looking for an old school club or shooter club, do your homework first. And my advice to you, nowadays the community is full of clubs that open for a month and close. Pretty simple. Make sure you do your homework. Join a club that's maybe not gonna close after a month. Like say like you're looking into a club, make sure they've been around for 3 to 4. Like do a little bit of research on them. Make sure they're not one of those clubs that just opens and closes. Like Powerhouse said, it's all about the research. It's all about what you're looking for. So even if you don't know something about the club, like say you don't know if their club's shooter based, because some clubs just only post content on their Instagrams, but their fucking shooter is shit in lobbies. Make sure to ask the questions. Ask if they're shooter based, content based. Ask any questions, because some questions we're gonna feel like they're fucking retarded, but some question like we'll answer any questions that anybody has. Really, that's our jobs. If you don't know anything about the club, it's our job to answer. Now, if you ask me a fucking full patch question, say you ask me like, hey, what happens after I'm full patch and like what votes go through this, we're not gonna tell you. There's only certain things that we're gonna be able to tell you.
Yeah, there is a level of discrepancy that goes into a lot of these things.
Just like Powerhouse doesn't tell me about, like me and Powerhouse are pretty good friends. He doesn't tell me about what happens in his club. I don't tell him what happens in my club. I tell him what I can, and anything that I can, I don't tell him. Clubs like ours, like we might seem chill, but we're very secretive on the things that go on inside the club. If it has nothing to do with me that Powerhouse has a vote on, I'm not gonna ask about it. Right? So just keep in mind the questions you can ask and the questions you can't ask. Because legit clubs, the content clubs, are more secretive than they are. Like we put on, I wouldn't say we. How would you describe it, Powerhouse? We don't put on a personality around people that aren't in the club, but kind of like shield ourselves, kind of like to where like if they're not a member, we know what we can and can't talk about.
Yeah, well,
Like
you know what it is.
difference.
It's not like you're lying or anything like that, right? When you're asking a
Yeah.
question that pertains to the club. You know, a lot of people need to understand that individual clubs do a lot of things that they don't have, right? So, like, a lot of clubs have traditions that they're not going to willingly want to open up and just divulge to just about anybody, right? Because then you take away like that level of sincerity or the level of tradition that they appreciate so much in their, whether it's their own patch or the bylaws that they've written or how they conduct themselves. You know? So a lot of it really just comes down to things that can be answered, absolutely, and then you know things that you get that level of access to for a patch are totally different, and they're totally different for the reason of it's just protecting it. You know what I mean? That's how the longevity and the appreciation that goes into everything that any individual club does. You know what I mean? Like that's it right there. You know, if you make that full patch status, guess what? They'll answer those questions. But I mean, until you don't cross over or anything like that, you're still on the outside. You're only going to get limited information.
And just because we act friendly whenever you're, like, say for some clubs, say they act friendly with you whenever you're in party, chill with them, and then get treated like shit like a prospect or so, or like don't get treated the same. Don't get discouraged because that's because you were a friend of the club. That's completely different from being a friend of the club to the like a prospect for a club. And I think that's where people kind of get like mixed up with the whole, oh, they were completely different whenever I joined them. Well, no shit, you're different. You're a prospect. You're held to like a different standard. When you're a friend of a club, it's different. When you're a prospect of a club, it's way different. And then when you're a full patch of a club, it's completely different. Like, yeah, you guys get to shoot the shit, but then your president could also be an asshole. Like, when he needs to be. Like, I'm not a dick.
The other thing that you want to remember too is that you never, against a prospect, you never want to take any person. I mean, granted, unless somebody does say something.
Like, fucking out of pocket shit.
You know, but if it's like, hey, Goofy, move your ass, or you know what I mean? Like, there's a level of hazing that will go on, and stuff like that.
And we take that shit from IRL. We take that shit from IRL. We take like we don't go like full on, like, cause there's some clubs IRL that it's like, holy fuck, you get hazed to fuck. It's not like that. We take some portions from IRL clubs, the hazing points, and we just implicate it in game. That's just how it is. And if you're looking to be treated like a fucking god as a prospect, don't join any actually legit club. That's not how it goes. You still got things to do. Like nobody knows except for the members that have been here what you have to do to become patch, and you don't know what happens whenever you do become patched in here. Like we'll never tell you. Just like Powerhouse will never tell you. Like there's just like we said, there's secrecy for some things for a fucking reason. You prospect for months to be able to be trusted with those secrets. So like if you're looking like for us to give you a patch after 2 weeks, so we can't trust you with our secrets that we've had for years, just for 2 fucking weeks of prospecting, right? So you're sitting there looking for a club that you're gonna be patched in for 2 weeks. Don't join a club like us. Don't join I wouldn't say legit club, but don't join a content club, because 90% of the time you are gonna be through it for a while.
And one thing too, to really kind of just drive this whole thing home is that you want to remember one thing: you want to have fun. You know what I mean? You want to have fun with the people that you're playing with, even if they're kind of breaking your rest a little bit. Like you want to have fun with them. You want to have fun while you're playing the game. You know what I mean? So just remember, go into it just having fun. You know, if you're having a bad day at work or a wife or whatever, You know, maybe you don't hop on that day. Maybe you play a different game. But at the end of the day, the idea of it is to you. I think that's definitely a big key thing that a lot of people get behind.
Yeah, I think communication is definitely key whenever you're prospecting for a club. I
Absolutely.
definitely think like, because when I prospected for y'all, if I had a bad day, I just told y'all like, it's just not a good day, and then we just sat there, party and chill. It's like, if you're having a bad day, we're not gonna make your day worse.
Yeah, it's definitely not the
Like
intention.
it's not my job to make your day worse. If you're having a shitty day, come talk to me. If you wanna hop in the party and you just don't wanna be like hazed and shit, like tell us what's going on, so we know what's happening. We know what's going on. If we don't know what's happening and we say the wrong thing and you don't tell us if you're having an off day and you explode, what can we do about it? 90% of the time, if you don't tell us and then you get pissed off because we said something, 99.9% of the time you're just going to be removed as a prospect, because we're not going to take disrespect. And then you come to me later and say, hey, I just had a really bad day. Well, why didn't you tell me about that before? You know, prospect's all about communication. And as you communicate as a prospect, it goes.
Do you have anybody in the chat looking to get involved?
Yeah, I don't know. Anybody in the chat got any questions? Like we had 8 viewers for the majority of the stream. That's kind of like going down now. But for the majority of the stream, we had like 8 people listening in. So, see, you thought that people weren't going to listen in on what you had to say. Some people care. Some people do care. Not very many, but some people do. So if anybody in the chat has any questions, we're hitting 2 hours and 11 minutes of us talking. So if anybody got any questions.
2 hours, dude. Oh my.
Time flies when you're having fun.
A little bit. Yeah.
Time flies whenever you're talking about important stuff. Right? Like this stuff to us is important, but to some people it's not going to be important. It just all depends on like generation and the type of viewers and the type of clubs that want to view this shit. Like say some clubs want to change and they're afraid to change, they can watch this stream and figure out all the steps that they need to do to change. All the
Like I
steps
said,
that
I
they
think
need
at
to
the
do
end
to,
of the day, you gotta worry about passing on positivity. You know what I mean?
yeah. And like I'm not saying shooter clubs can't change, but y'all gotta like prove to us that you can change. We're not gonna automatically respect you because you're in the middle of trying to change. It does not work like that. You prove to us you can change, I'll give you the respect for that. I'll give you the 100% respect for that. You're able to change from shooter to more of like an old school style club, I'll give you a round of applause. I'll message you myself saying respect to you for changing your ways. Don't think it's gonna come automatically. So a couple extra people just tuned in. If you got any questions for Powerhouse, me, Kate, or all 3 of us, or want any opinions or have anything you'd like to say, please do so. Because we're getting close to 2.5 hours with this stream. And yeah, there's not much else we can really talk about because we've covered quite a bit of topics from clubs, MC community, GTA6 to society and IRL that converts down to the way people act in game as well. So if you have anything that like you missed or like you want to ask Powerhouse any questions, like say you missed a topic and you want to know again, pretty sure Powerhouse has no problem repeating it. Powerhouse has been on podcasts before. So I'm pretty sure he's no problem telling y'all something.
Yeah, no, guys, anybody in the chat listening, anything,
even if after this podcast you got a question you want to ask him in private, hit him up on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, I have Powerhouse tagged in the poster for this podcast. So if you got any questions, go hit him up. It might take him a minute to respond, but you'll get your questions answered. Now, if you're being a straight up dick in his DMs, I don't recommend that because I'll message you myself asking why.
I think one thing, aside from anybody that whether they have questions or not, anybody that stuck around, watched the stream, or that they were in depth and active, appreciate you guys taking the time and giving the comments and views, or let everybody, you guys getting in the chats and watching and everything like that. Honestly, to you guys, the viewers and stuff like that really make this kind of this actually wild. What about likes and comments? You can sit there and have an audience for like 8 people or 8,000. But at the end of the day, it's you guys that watch it. Give yourselves a round of applause. And I appreciate you guys coming in.
Yeah, like you were the. I've only had like 8 consistent viewers. You're the first person that's been really consistent viewers. So, first episode we didn't get that many viewers. We got maybe like 6 or 7, but they all like disappeared every like minute. So like you're the. I get people definitely wanted to hear what you had to say because they stuck around for 2 fucking hours to listen to us talk about things that most people would find boring.
Again, to that, I'd say, if they can see this tonight, to you guys, appreciate you all being here.
Facts. It's been great. Can't lie. And this was pretty last minute too. So I asked you yesterday if you'd be interested, and you were free today. I was like, okay, let's get it going.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I felt like people needed to hear this. I felt like people needed to hear it.
I hope people can take away some positivity from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not all negative. We're not trying to be dicks. We're not trying to be negative. We're giving y'all advice in case you're looking for advice. Even if you come in you won't be able to message me. If you come on my club page, you got any questions, you need some advice, it's fine. If I don't know it, I'll refer you to Powerhouse, because Powerhouse is like a knowledge master right now. He's helping me out with a lot. So, like, if y'all have any questions, we're always free to answer them. And if you're interested in joining any of our clubs too, just shoot us a message. We'll obviously do our due diligence, and we'll check your shit out first before we give you a shot. But if everything checks out, you're good to go. So it's not. Yeah, no questions have popped in. So I want to thank you, Powerhouse, for coming in and always supporting me and supporting Outcast Reapers and supporting my podcast and giving these people some insight on you and giving them some advice from an old head yourself. There's not a lot of people who listen to us old heads anymore, so I appreciate you coming on and talking to me and shooting the shit.
Hey, absolutely. I appreciate being here. I appreciate having you offer to come on here and hang out, ride, and talk with everybody. And like I said, man, it's not all around play. I appreciate everybody that's in the chat and stuff. Appreciate you guys for having me on. And let's just keep riding it out till GTA6, huh?
Yeah, for sure. So from there, I'm gonna head off the stream, guys. Thanks for tuning in. It was great talking to Powerhouse. Great seeing all y'all tune in and seeing y'all care. So y'all take care.
Later, guys.